Chapter 2163. The chaotic sky destroyer sword in his hand was even more powerful. Lord Tianshuang and Lord Spiritual Fire roared in anger. In the blink of an eye, another 100 moves had passed. Just then, Lord Spiritual Fire released 400 streaks of sword light. Each of them was filled with chaotic sword chi. Lord Spiritual Fire roared and waved his hands. His bloodline power exploded and turned into a sea of red fire, blocking the 400 streaks of sword light. At the same time, he retreated quickly. After pushing Lord Spiritual Fire back, Lin Xian used demonic dragon's 8 parts and appeared in front of Lord Tianshuang. He slashed down with his demonic sword. Streaks of chaotic sword chi fell from the sky. Boom, boom, boom. It was as if countless dragons were flying down from the sky. They broke through the void and pressed down on Lord Tianshuang. Lord Tianshuang's expression changed instantly. Her delicate face became ferocious. She did not expect Lin Xian to be so fast that she could not react in time. It was impossible for her to escape now. She gritted her teeth and activated her bloodline power, preparing to fight back. Ice God's Wall. Heaven Frost King quickly formed a seal. The ice field vibrated and formed 8 blue ice walls around her. Each one was hundreds of feet tall and towered into the sky. The 8 blue ice walls shone with runes and gave off a mysterious aura. The 8 ice walls were like mysterious ice mountains. They blocked in front of Lord Tianshuang and surrounded her tightly. After using this mystique, Lord Tianshuang heaved a sigh of relief. Then, an ice armor appeared on her body. She did not believe that Lin Xian could break her ice god's wall. Boom. In the next moment, the terrifying demonic sword landed on the ice walls. Suddenly, the ground shook and a cold wind blew. Frost started to fall from the sky. Crack, crack, crack. Cracks began to appear on one of the gigantic ice walls. The cracks quickly spread until the entire ice wall was completely cracked. Then, it exploded with a loud bang. No, Lord Tianshuang roared and spat out blood again. She was hurt by this attack and was sent flying. However, she waved her hand, and the remaining 7 ice walls started to spin again. However, she had underestimated Lin Xian's speed. In the blink of an eye, Lin Xian had appeared beside her, so the ice wall had lost its effect. Damn it! Seeing this scene, the Spirit Fire King in the distance roared and rushed over madly. He had already healed his injuries, but he did not expect that his sister would fall into an extremely dangerous situation. Brat, if you dare to touch my sister, I'll tear you to shreds. Pung! However, just as he finished speaking, the long sword in Lin Xian's hand fell at the same time. Instantly, the attack landed on Frost King's stomach. Frost King spat out a mouthful of blood, dyeing the sky red. Her delicate body was like a shooting star, smashing down heavily. Boom, boom. Dust rose from the great earth below, the great earth cracking apart. 4,000 li-long cracks appeared, and they were still continuously extending. The pupils of the King Almighty's thousands of miles away shrank when they saw this scene, and all of them were extremely terrified. To be honest, they had never dreamed that such a scene would occur. This was because they knew how terrifying Frost King and the Spirit Fire King with their bloodline power were. However, Lin Xian's strength had exceeded their expectations and understanding. Damn brat, I'll kill you. I'll definitely kill you. The Spirit Fire King roared madly. This was because he realized that Lin Xian had sent his sister flying. He rushed over madly, his eyes red, and his body filled with killing intent. It turned into a killing sword, piercing through the surroundings. Boom. Chaotic Heaven Destroyer Sword. Demon Seal. At this moment, the sword light in Lin Xian's hand suddenly exploded. He had used the first killing move of the Chaotic Heaven Destroyer Sword. Boom. A huge sword chi descended from the sky, ruthlessly striking the Spirit Fire King's body, instantly sending him flying. The armor on his body shattered instantly, and a terrifying sword mark appeared in front of him, almost cutting him in half. The spiritual energy in Lin Xian's body was quickly sucked out like water. He did not expect that the chaotic Heaven Destroyer sword would consume so much energy, especially this killing move. It had used up 1/3 of his spiritual energy. Whoosh! He sucked hard, and the spiritual energy in a radius of 10,000 miles quickly gathered towards him. The crowd in the distance sucked in a breath of cold air. They were shocked. Even the almighty kings were dumbfounded. They hadn't expected Lin Xian to be able to unleash such a powerful killing move. 5,000 miles away, the Spirit Fire King stopped and roared into the sky. His body had almost been cut in half. His body was a blur, and blood flowed wildly. The mountains and rivers below were also destroyed mercilessly. Shock, fear, humiliation, anger, and all sorts of emotions swirled in the Spirit Fire King's heart, making him crazy. In the next moment, he took out a large amount of spiritual herbs from his storage ring and swallowed them. At the same time, he used his cultivation technique to temporarily suppress his injuries, and the bloodline power in his body burst out. Crazy, he had really gone crazy. No matter what price he had to pay, he would kill his opponent today. Therefore, in the next moment, fierce flames erupted from his eyes, burning fiercely. Boom! On the other side, a figure flew up quickly from the ground. It was the Frost King. She had been hit by Lin Xian earlier, and there were 3 sword holes on her body. Although she had temporarily suppressed her injuries, her hair was disheveled, and she was in a sorry state. You are the first person to force me and my sister into such a desperate situation. The Spirit Fire King gritted his teeth, and his voice was filled with killing intent. However, there is no chance for you to kill us. As he spoke, he flew closer and closer to Frost King. Seeing this, Lin Xian frowned. The powerful kings in the distance were also confused. What was going on? The Frost King and the Spirit Fire King still wanted to fight? However, this should not be the case. They were both heavily injured, and it seemed like they could not even use half of their combat strength. Under such circumstances, how could he possibly be a match for Lin Xian? After all, they could not even defeat him when they were at their peak. Now that they were heavily injured, how could they turn the tables? Why was he not running away? They could not understand. Could it be that he still had some trump cards? That was right, they still had some trump cards. Soon, these people were stunned. The Spirit Fire King and the Frost King were leaning against each other, and their bloodline powers were beginning to merge. Kid, I will let you see our final killing move. No one can block our final killing move, and you are no exception. You will be killed. I will use your blood to wash away the humiliation we have suffered. The Spirit Fire King and the Frost King gritted their teeth, and their bloodline powers quickly exploded and merged in the air. Buzz! Their king domains also intertwined in the air, and the power of ice and fire quickly gathered, and an even more terrifying aura exploded. Please recommend, vote, subscribe, collect, tip. Chapter 2164. Buzz! Their king domains intertwined in the sky. The power of ice and fire quickly gathered, and an even more terrifying aura burst out. What? The fusion of ice and fire? Their bloodline powers were actually able to fuse. In the distance, the king realm experts were stunned. What kind of theory was this? It was impossible. Ice and fire were 2 completely opposite powers. How could they merge? However, it was happening right in front of them now. Even Lin Xian furrowed his brows as his eyes flickered. He did not expect the other party to possess such ability. However, soon after, he sneered. It seemed that even the heavens were helping him. He had the hellfire and sea god's ice, but he could only let them coexist. He could not merge them. However, the two in front of him could merge them. They must have some kind of secret technique. If he could get it, he might be able to increase the power of his ice and fire. In front of him, the two's aura burst out again. Their bloodline powers had merged. An ice and fire domain circled in the sky, releasing a terrifying power. Brat, take our strongest attack. Ice and fire, Spirit Fire King and Frost King roared as they attacked together. Their king domains quickly shot out a beam of ice and fire. A mysterious power surged. It was both cold and hot. The two completely opposite auras merged into one. It was like a beam of divine light descending from the sky towards Lin Xian. This attack was too terrifying. Even the king, realm experts thousands of miles away knelt on the ground. They could not take it. Lin Xian's expression was grave as well. He too felt a great threat. In the next moment, he took a deep breath and swung the chaotic sky destroyer sword again. Demon Seal. It was the same killer move from before. This time, Lin Xian was even more familiar with it. Countless sword chi flashed and formed a huge net. It seemed to be able to seal the world. Boom. The two attacks collided. In the end, the chaotic sky destroyer sword was stronger and sealed the beam of ice and fire. He could seal it. This was impossible. What kind of sword technique was he using? How could it be stronger than our combined attack? Spirit Fire King and Frost King were stunned. They did not dare to look. This was their strongest trump card, a powerful killing move formed by the fusion of their bloodlines. Even pinnacle mighty figures couldn't resist it. However, the other party actually managed to block it. What kind of swordsmanship was that? They had no chance to find out because Lin Xian had sealed the light of ice and fire. Then he stretched out his palms and turned them into two green dragons. In an instant, Spirit Fire King and Frost King were bound and sealed. Loud and clear dragon roars were heard. Spirit Fire Emperor and Frost Emperor's faces were ashen. They did not have much energy left. There was no way he could withstand Lin Xian's attacks. However, in the next moment, they were all stunned. The reason for that was because they discovered that although they were bound, the other party did not take their lives. What was going on? The two of them couldn't understand. But in the next moment, the world spun and they fainted. With a wave of his hand, Lin Xian sealed the two of them, knocked them unconscious, and threw them into the black earth. He didn't kill them immediately because he had his own plans. These two people were still useful to him, so he kept them for now. What's going on? What about Spirit Fire King and Frost King? Could it be that they were killed? The people in the distance were shocked because Lin Xian's movements were too fast. Many of them didn't see it clearly. However, thinking about it, they were probably dead. With Lin Xian's terrifying means, the two of them would definitely be killed. In the next moment, Lin Xian turned around and looked around coldly. Then he said in a deep voice, "What? You want to attack me too?" There was a trace of cold killing intent in his voice. Instantly, the kings who were watching the battle swallowed their saliva and felt their scalps go numb. Many of them even ran away. What a joke! Who would dare to attack him? Didn't they see that the powerful Spirit Fire King and Frost King were defeated? Making a move against him now was truly an act of seeking death. In an instant, everyone left and didn't dare to get close. However, some of them secretly called for help. Although they couldn't defeat him, they didn't believe that he was invincible with more than 10 or 20 of them attacking together. However, these people had all left quietly, and no one dared to appear in front of Lin Xian. Lin Xian snorted and left in a flash. However, the news of this battle spread like wildfire. Those princes who weren't here heard about it, and all of them gasped. They didn't even believe it. They knew how powerful Spirit Fire King and Frost King were. How could they be defeated? However, as more and more people spread the news, they had no choice but to believe it. Damn it! When the first prince heard about it, he was furious. He roared in anger. He didn't expect that his two elite subordinates couldn't defeat Lin Xian, even when they worked together. It was really unexpected. Damn it! Where was the Golden Lion King? He told him about Lin Xian and asked the Golden Lion King to kill him. On the other side, the third prince, the eighth prince, and the others had all heard about it. The eighth prince was naturally happy. He then led his men to the location of the battle. The third prince's face was gloomy. Even Spirit Fire King and Frost King had been defeated. The Dark King that he sent must have been killed. Damn brat. Looks like I have to do it myself. The third prince also decided to lead a large group of men to kill Lin Xian. He didn't believe that Lin Xian could fight against his entire team. However, when they arrived, they found that Lin Xian had already left. This made them go crazy. However, the third prince believed that Lin Xian couldn't have escaped far. Therefore, they started a crazy search in the surrounding 100,000 miles. The Golden Lion King also arrived. He descended like a god of war. He then looked at the battlefield and snorted, "Brat, you can't escape." He then flew into the sky and disappeared again. However, Lin Xian had already left. He found a mountain range and hid before entering the Black Earth. In front of the third prince were two powerhouses who were tied up. Lin Xian sneered and walked over. Spirit Fire King and Frost King had already woken up. When they saw Lin Xian walking towards them, they screamed, "Damn brat, let us go! You dare to touch us? You're dead. You still dare to threaten me?" Lin Xian sneered. "Looks like you guys still don't understand your situation." He looked at the two of them, his eyes shining with a terrifying light. "What do you want?" The two of them felt their hair stand on end when they were stared at. "What do I want?" Lin Xian sneered. "You guys came to kill me. What do you think I want? Naturally, I'll kill you. Also, let me tell you something. I'm very interested in your ice and fire fusion power." Chapter 2165. Why? Of course, I'm going to kill you. Also, let me tell you something. I'm very interested in your fusion of ice and fire. What? Hearing this, the two's pupils shrank. "Damn brat. You dare to target us?" They were furious. Previously, they wanted to kill Lin Xian and steal Lin Xian's energy. Unexpectedly, not only did they fail, they even became prey. How ironic. "Dream on, we won't tell you." Frost King snorted. "I don't need you to tell me. I'll get it myself." Lin Xian's eyes shone with a golden light. Your eyes." When Spirit Fire King and Frost King saw this scene, their eyes were filled with fear. In the next moment, they cried out in pain, and their eyes became blurry. The golden light in Lin Xian's eyes became brighter and brighter. 2 hours later, he retracted his gaze. Plop! The two in front of him fell down powerlessly. So that's how it is. Lin Xian understood. With a wave of his hand, hellfire appeared and burned the two to ashes. In the following time, he began to study the fusion of ice and fire. On this day, Lin Xian opened his eyes. With a wave of his hand, a strange energy appeared in his hand. Lin Xian was delighted. He looked at the ball of fire and ice in his hand and smiled. Ever since he was strengthened by hellfire and ice, he was unable to fuse his heart. But now, it seemed that he had succeeded again. After the fusion of ice and fire, the energy would definitely increase by several folds. It had completely surpassed the power of hellfire and ice alone. "Brat, the eighth prince's men are here." At this moment, He too reminded him. The eighth prince had finally found his way here. Lin Xian raised his head. He wasn't surprised that the eighth prince could find him, because he still had 3 Trump Jade talismans in his possession. They could form a weak connection with the eighth prince. Thinking about it, the eighth prince would find him sooner or later. Moreover, he hadn't moved for the past 3 days. Little Lin, be careful. I wonder what the eighth prince's attitude is. At the side, the crimson dragon also reminded him. According to my deduction, the eighth prince is not a person who is greedy for treasures. His main goal should be to become the crown prince. Therefore, I guessed that he wouldn't do anything to me. Instead, he would protect me. Lin Xian's guess was correct. When he left the Black Earth and met up with the eighth prince and the others outside, Lin Xian's eyes lit up. The eighth prince was overjoyed. Then he quickly expressed his intentions. He decided to protect Lin Xian with all his might. Lin Xian laughed when he heard that. Don't worry, eighth prince, with me here, you will definitely become the crown prince. Brother Lin, do you have any good plans? The eighth prince asked. He had also heard of Lin Xian's battle achievements. This was definitely a formidable battle strength. With Lin Xian's support, the position of crown prince was just around the corner. The almighties around the eighth prince, including Taoist dragon and lord of the underworld, all looked at Lin Xian with strange expressions. They were nervous. To be honest, although Lin Xian's strength was formidable when he first came in, he was still lacking compared to the almighties. At that time, they did not pay much attention to a young junior. But now, in less than a month, which was more than 20 days, Lin Xian's cultivation had increased by leaps and bounds. He had already surpassed them by far. This made them very emotional. They also knew that a peerless genius like Lin Xian was definitely rare. Perhaps only someone like the Golden Lion King could be mentioned in the same breath. Moreover, there were historical records of such freaks in the ancient times. In the ancient times, there was someone who became a saint at the age of 30 and became an unparalleled saint. There was someone who created a supreme sword technique in his 20s. There was an even more heaven-defying legend. There was someone who established a sect at the age of 18, and his strength was boundless. There was no limit to time for the almighties. Those peerless geniuses were usually able to stand out when they were young and reach heights that ordinary people could never reach in their lifetime. There was no doubt that Lin Xian was also such a freak. Lin Xian naturally did not know what these people were thinking. After hearing the eighth prince's words, he thought for a while and said, I've decided to take action against the third prince. Take action against the third prince. Hearing this, the eighth prince was stunned. The almighties behind him were also shocked. If they were in Lin Xian's shoes, they would probably take the safer approach to protect themselves. However, Lin Xian wanted to take the initiative to attack the other princes. Moreover, Lin Xian chose one of the three strongest princes. I have two reasons, Lin Xian explained. First, it is my own reason. The third prince has tried to kill me many times, and even spread the news to make everyone my enemy. Since he is trying to get rid of me, it is impossible for me not to be angry and not take action against him. Moreover, as the crown prince, your main opponents are the third prince and the first prince. The other princes are not a threat to you at all. As for the first prince and the third prince, the first prince is the strongest. Therefore, if you want to become the crown prince, you have to take action against the third prince. Only by taking care of the third prince will you be qualified to challenge the first prince. That's right, I think so too. The eighth prince closed the folding fan in his hand and nodded slightly. Then, I will take action against the third prince. I think you should know that all of us princes have trump cards that can save our lives. In other words, when our lives are threatened, we will automatically teleport out. Although we will not be killed in the end, we will completely lose the crown prince's battle. Therefore, when you attack, do your best to attack the third prince. As long as he is eliminated, we will win. Of course, they will also attack me crazily. So, you must be very careful, the eighth prince said in a deep voice. Next, Taoist Long and the other almighties began to analyze the battle. Who would be defending, who would be attacking, and who would be sneak attacking. These all had to be discussed. At the very least, they could not act like headless flies. Needless to say, The main attacker was Lin Xian, together with the other powerful almighties. These almighties either had extremely violent attributes such as lightning and fire, or they had powerful attacks such as swordsmen and sabermen. The defense was represented by Daoist Long. The other almighties mainly had ice, earth, water, and other defensive attributes. In other words, those who had supreme defensive artifacts would do their best to protect the eighth prince. The sneak attack was mainly carried out by the Lord of the Underworld. This kind of assassination, darkness, and speed almighties were all listed as the main sneak attack force. In addition, there were also formations, soul attacks, and demonic beasts. Since they had discussed the grouping, they decided to take action. However, these people did not plan to take the initiative to look for them. They decided to use Lin Xian to lure the third prince and the others out. They would wait at ease for the exhausted. Lin Xian naturally agreed to this suggestion. After they had set up the formation, Lin Xian moved out. He came to the outside world to attract everyone's attention, especially the third prince and the others. Chapter 2166. After they finished setting up the formation, Lin Xian made his move. He came to the outside world to attract everyone's attention, especially the third prince's men. Boom. As soon as Lin Xian came out, he raised his hand and tore apart more than a dozen mountains and shattered a few rivers. He even blasted 3 almighties away. His appearance naturally attracted the attention of others. Damn it, it's that kid. That kid is here again. Quickly report to the third prince. We can't let him escape again. Many figures flashed quickly. They didn't make a move immediately. Instead, they called for reinforcements. That was because after knowing Lin Xian's combat strength, no one dared to fight with Lin Xian alone. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Lin Xian floated in the sky and formed an ice bow in his hands. One after another, frost arrows shot out and exploded in all directions. Instantly, the kings who wanted to escape to deliver the message were all blasted into pieces. He only left one person behind. That person was the third prince's man. That person fled quickly like a shooting star. He even used a secret technique to cover his body with blood to increase his speed. The third prince, a blood-red light descended from the sky and rushed into a valley. The third prince and his men were in the valley. At that moment, they were resting and adjusting to their peak condition. However, the voice in the sky woke them up. In the next moment, the third prince and the other almighties opened their eyes. What's going on? The third prince stood up and asked in a deep voice. The blood-red lightning rushed into the valley and turned into an almighty. He quickly said, "Third prince, that kid Lin Xian has appeared. He's killing people everywhere." "He's here." "That's great." The third prince was overjoyed. The other almighties also stood up. "Let's go." The third prince waved his hand, and all the kings flew into the sky and flew into the distance. On the other side, Lin Xian floated in the sky and created some huge commotion from time to time. Soon, he squinted his eyes because he realized that there were more than 10 rays of light in the distance. They were like rainbows that were rushing toward him. "They're here." The corners of Lin Xian's mouth curled up into a smile. Naturally, he could clearly see the figures in front of him. It was the third prince's team. Therefore, in the next moment, his figure flashed, and he flew into the distance. Behind him, the third prince and the others roared madly when they saw this scene. "Stop him quickly! Don't let him escape!" Wong. At this moment, a grand cultivator in a green robe raised his hand and threw out 9 green flags. They covered the sky and locked onto an area. Boom. Lin Xian was also sealed in that space. Boom. However, in the next moment, the space shattered and the 9 green flags flew out. Lin Xian's figure flickered again, leaving that place. Behind them, the third prince and the others were chasing after them. They would definitely not miss such a good opportunity. Moreover, the distance between the two sides was getting closer and closer. Wang. Among them, 3 mighty figures who were proficient in speed burst forth instantly. They tore through the void and appeared in front of Lin Xian in an instant, blocking his path. The third prince and the other mighty figures behind him also caught up and cut off his escape route. In an instant, they surrounded Lin Xian. "Let's see where you can run to," those mighty figures sneered. The third prince also walked out, obediently hand over the rare treasure, "and I'll give you a quick death. Otherwise, I'll let you know what it's like to beg for death." Humph! Lin Xian turned around. There was no fear on his face. Instead, there was a cold smile on his face. "I've finally lured you guys out." "What do you mean?" Hearing this, the third prince frowned. The other mighty figures' expressions also changed. Could it be a trap? Boom! Just as that thought came to their minds, countless rays of light suddenly lit up in all directions, forming a formation that enveloped them all. Then more than 10 figures flew over from the mountain range in the distance. They came to the void and looked ahead, laughing loudly. "Old 8, it's you guys." The third prince looked around with a gloomy face. That's right, these people were the 8th prince and the others. Lin Xian had lured them into a trap and then stopped, which led to the scene just now. "That's right, third brother, it's me. It's time to put an end to this," the 8th prince said in a deep voice. "Just you? You want to fight with me? You're still lacking." The third prince snorted coldly. Although the 8th prince's strength was on par with his, and they were both first-tier princes, he was confident that he could defeat the 8th prince and the others. His biggest target should be the first prince. "Old 8, take your men and get lost. Otherwise, I'll eliminate you early." I should be the one saying that to you. The 8th prince's expression gradually became serious. "I'll eliminate you today. After I'm done with you, I'll deal with the first prince. Who do you think you are? You want to eliminate me?" The third prince sneered in disdain. "Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish." A terrifying aura surged from the third prince's body. Then, a dragon-shaped shadow wrapped around his body. The mighty figures around him also exuded a powerful aura. In the Grand Imperial Hall, the royal family elders exclaimed when they saw this scene. Is the final battle finally about to begin? Calculating the time, it's about time. There were only 7 or 8 days left. It's about time to clean up. However, in the past, they had always started from the weak princes. They didn't expect that the 2 first-tier princes would fight in advance this time. They couldn't help but be shocked because the 3 princes who had the highest chance of becoming the crown prince were the first prince, the third prince, and the 8th prince. Now that the 2 of them were fighting, it would have a huge impact on the future. Who do you think will win this battle? I think it will be the 8th prince. He didn't suffer much damage. Moreover, Lin Xian obtained a rare treasure. I'm afraid that the 8th prince's strength will increase greatly. That was to be expected, as the third prince had suffered some damage in the Dark Canyon previously. However, I don't think so. I'm optimistic about the third prince. Although the third prince suffered some damage, the others obtained a lot of rare treasures. During this period, their overall strength could be said to have increased by leaps and bounds. Everyone discussed animatedly, each with different opinions. Everyone's analysis was reasonable. However, they didn't know what the final result would be. They could only watch patiently. They finally met Lin Xian again. At this moment, the first blade stood out. He exuded a terrifying saber intent. "Why, you want to fight with me?" Lin Xian looked at him. "That's right. I've explored 5 or 6 ruins during this period. My strength has increased greatly. This time, I won't lose to you." However, Lin Xian looked at him and shook his head. "You're no match for me." Hearing this, the first blade snorted. "I admit that you've obtained a rare treasure. However, I don't believe that you can fully use it now. The first blade's aura became more and more fierce. 7 terrifying saber seals appeared behind him. Chapter 2167. 7 Demon Blade. Kill. As soon as the battle started, he used his strongest killing move with his first strike. It seemed like he wanted to defeat Lin Xian and prove his strength. A huge blade light appeared between heaven and earth. It was as if the heavens had arrived, causing the hearts of the surrounding powerhouses to tremble. The first slash of strength had increased by so much. It was too terrifying. The powerhouses on the 8th Prince's side were shocked because they realized that the first slash's strength had increased greatly. It was a world of difference compared to when he first entered. They thought that the other party must have had an unimaginable fortuitous encounter during this period. However, Lin Xian shook his head slightly. Since the other party had made a move, he would let the other party see how much he had grown during this period of time. He stretched out his hands. On his left hand, a ball of icy aura surged rapidly. On his right hand, a black flame danced. Then he formed a seal with his palms and slowly put his hands together. Buzz. Hell's Ice Lotus. The blue ice and black flame merged and turned into a blue and black lotus. It spun rapidly in Lin Xian's hand, emitting a monstrous destructive aura. Feeling this aura, everyone's expression changed. What kind of power was this? It was too terrifying. The powerhouses on the 8th Prince's side were shocked, and the 3rd Prince's pupils shrank. Damn it, this kid's strength is too terrifying. The first slash's expression was also serious because the aura of the Hell's Black Lotus was too terrifying. Even his body was trembling slightly. However, in the next moment, he gripped the long blade in his hand tightly and slashed down. Buzz. The huge blade's shadow swooped down and turned into a silver river, slashing towards Lin Xian. Go! Lin Xian waved his left hand, and the Hell's Ice Lotus floated out quickly. Wherever it passed, the void was destroyed mercilessly. Boom! There was a shocking collision, and then the energy between heaven and earth exploded. The peerless blade shadow was instantly shattered and burned, scattering in all directions. As for the black fire lotus, it collided with the body of the first blade and blasted it back. Puff! The first slash spat out a mouthful of blood, and half of his armor was shattered. He had lost. He had actually lost, and he had lost in one move. He had lost even faster than before. Could it be that the gap between the two of them had not narrowed, but widened instead? The first blade could not believe it. He could not accept this reality. Just as he was about to move, the chi and blood in his body began to churn violently, causing him to spit out another mouthful of blood. The 3rd Prince and the grand cultivators around him all became serious. This was because they realized that the other party's strength was too strong. He had definitely surpassed the elite almighties. Kill. Kill them all. The 3rd Prince roared. Boom. Boom. The surrounding kings quickly counterattacked, and their auras flowed out. Many people rushed towards Lin Xian, while even more people rushed towards the 8th Prince. When the 8th Prince saw this scene, he waved his hand. Taoist Long released his king's domain and covered the 8th Prince, and a few higher beings surrounded the 8th Prince to protect him. The underworld king led a group of people and charged over. A great battle erupted, shaking heaven and earth. Everything within a range of 10,000 li was instantly destroyed. Terrifying energy surged into the sky like a volcanic eruption, causing the ground to collapse rapidly. The terrifying killing intent was like a tidal wave that swept out in all directions, causing the surrounding mountains to collapse. Under this kind of energy, nothing could be preserved. Buzz, buzz, buzz. The sovereign realms spread out in all directions, tearing apart the firmament. The terrifying light connected with the stars in the sky. It was a terrifying scene. Boom. Lin Xian held the demonic sword in his hand and quickly swung it, instantly sending a higher being flying. Blood splattered everywhere, and that person crashed onto the ground like a meteor. Boom. Then he punched back. Hell's ice lotus appeared on his terrifying fist, and it directly smashed a king who had ambushed him from behind. Blood splattered everywhere. Lin Xian fought in the air like a god of war. The third prince's people felt their scalps go numb as they looked at Lin Xian in horror. On the other side, the underworld king and the others also attacked. In the sky, a huge purplish-black ball of light appeared, covering a radius of 1,000 li, forming a terrifying pressure. The other higher beings also attacked, causing the heavens and earth to explode. This battle was too terrifying. Even the elders of the royal family in the Grand Imperial Hall were nervous. Boom. However, the third prince was definitely one of the top princes, and the higher beings under him were also extremely terrifying. Therefore, not long after the battle, the eighth prince's side also suffered a blow. Many people were injured, and 1 or 2 were killed. It could be said that the battle was very tragic. Kill! The eighth prince roared, and the Tao of Dragon aura on his body quickly surged out. In the distance, Lin Xian and the others felt a pure energy surrounding them. This was the Tao of Dragon aura, which could be used to increase the power of other King Almighties. Now, the eighth prince was using it to provide energy for Lin Xian and the others. Indeed, under the Tao of Dragon aura, these King Almighties were all excited. You're not the only one who has the Tao of Dragon aura. I have it too. The third prince also shouted coldly, and the dragon-shaped shadow on his body roared rapidly. The King Almighties around him also received the power of the Tao of Dragon aura. Boom. Both sides fought again, causing the heavens and earth to shatter. This was a terrifying battle, and the terrifying power caused the entire ground to collapse. The void shattered, and nothing could stop it. The third prince's side went crazy, and the elite almighties all activated their domains, enveloping the surroundings. Lu Fei, Duan Qingqing, and the other young geniuses were pale. This crazy battle was a difficult test for them. Fortunately, they had obtained some opportunities before, and their strength had increased greatly. That was why they were able to narrowly avoid those killing moves. The eighth prince's side also fought back with all their might. The underworld king roared, and the pair of purple wings on his back were like heavenly blades, cutting one of the third prince's almighties in half. Blood splattered like a sea of blood, circling the sky. This King Almighties of Darkness was finally enraged. The dark aura on his body swept through the heavens and earth, and the surroundings were pitch black. It was as if he had come to the underworld. Boom. At this moment, 18 large flags suddenly appeared in the void, locking down the space and completely trapping Lin Xian. 5 almighties instantly appeared, and their 5 king domains overlapped as they attacked Lin Xian crazily. This was because they could see that the greatest threat here was not the older generation or the elite almighties, but this young man in his 20s. The other party's combat strength was too strong, and he would often severely injure them in just a few moves. This was too great a threat to them, and they had to get rid of him. Kid, go to hell. The 5 king domains flickered in the sky, and then they enveloped Lin Xian. Buzz. Lin Xian used the demigods and semidevils, and he instantly tore through the void and dodged to the side. It's useless. You can't break my 18 flags. In the sky, a green-robed elder sneered. Chapter 2168. Boom. As soon as he finished speaking, he was stunned. It was broken. How was that possible? He was too shocked because a black hole the size of a house had appeared in the sealed space formed by the 18 flags that he was so proud of. Lin Xian retreated 1,000 miles in a flash. Boom, boom. In an instant, The five kings' domains had destroyed the original space. How was that possible? How did that kid escape from my spatial seal? He did not dare to imagine. Boom. In the next moment, Lin Xian moved again. He charged toward the elder in green robes. He realized that the elder in green robes was too threatening, especially the spatial seal. It was very troublesome for him. If it was someone else, it would be difficult for them to escape. Therefore, he decided to deal with this problem first, and then turn around to kill the third prince. Whoosh! Lin Xian was like a giant dragon. He flew quickly in the air and charged toward the elder in green robes. "You're courting death. Get lost!" The elder in green robes roared and slammed his palm down. The space within 1,000 miles shattered as a terrifying palm descended from the sky. Buzz! The moment the Chaos Sword technique was unleashed, it was like a comet that lit up the entire sky. The terrifying sword light tore apart the huge palm and then slashed toward the elder in green robes. Whoosh! The elder in green robes retreated like lightning and dodged in the void. At the same time, the 18 flags circled around him, forming a king's domain. Seal. The elder in green robes waved the 18 flags and activated the sealing power. Once again, the space around Lin Xian was sealed. However, it was useless. Lin Xian was like a sword god. His body emitted a dazzling sword light as streaks of chaotic sword chi surged out from his hand. In an instant, the sealed space was shattered. Fire gods roar. In the sky, a huge flaming sword slashed down and sent the 18 flags flying. 5 of them were burned to ashes. Damn it! The elder in green robes looked pained. His opponent's flames were too terrifying. They could burn his Dharma treasures. In the next moment, the remaining green flags circled around him. He opened his mouth and spat out a pagoda. Suddenly, the pagoda rapidly enlarged and spun, forming a terrifying power. The sky was filled with green light, and the void was shattered. Large black craters appeared one after another. These rays of light shot towards Lin Xian. However, Lin Xian directly pierced through the void and appeared in another location. Azure Sky Pagoda, on the 8th prince's side, many officials exclaimed. Among them, Taoist Long loudly reminded them to be careful and not be swept by the cyan light. Lin Xian also furrowed his brows because the green pagoda gave him a huge sense of danger. The green light seemed to be able to melt everything. It had a strong corrosive effect. That was how the black holes in the sky were formed. Fortunately, he had extreme speed and was able to dodge it. Otherwise, if he was hit by the green light, he would have been injured. Thinking of this, the hellfire and sea god's ice rushed out from his hands and merged in front of him to form the hell's ice lotus. Go! Lin Xian waved his hand, and then the hell's ice lotus spun and flew upwards. Suddenly, it collided with the green pagoda, causing a huge explosion. The green pagoda exploded, and countless cracks appeared on it. Even 2 floors of the pagoda were directly blown to pieces. No! Damn it! The mighty figure in green spat out 3 mouthfuls of blood with a ferocious expression. He did not expect his opponent to be able to shatter his Dharma treasure. In the next moment, he activated the remaining green pagoda and quickly charged towards Lin Xian. Humph! Lin Xian used the Chaotic Heaven Destroyer sword, and a shocking sword chi exploded. After a great battle, the green pagoda was cut in half, and the remaining sword chi shattered another 3 green flags. The mighty figure in green was in a sorry state, and he was injured all over. He quickly escaped. He did not run far, but returned to the third prince's side. The third prince's aura of the Tao of Dragon could quickly heal his injuries. Kill! With a roar, Lin Xian charged towards the third prince. As long as he killed the third prince and eliminated him, he would win. the remaining mighty figures would have nothing to do with them. Lin Xian led his men and charged towards the third prince. Several elite mighty figures followed behind him, and their bodies were filled with killing intent. Courting death. Get lost. Seeing that Lin Xian had finally attacked the third prince, a mighty figure in purple robes beside the third prince roared. His voice was like the roar of flames, and it turned into a huge fire snake that swooped down. The fire snake was formed from purple flames, and it burned fiercely with a monstrous heat wave. It was a type of spiritual fire of heaven and earth, and it was extremely terrifying. At this moment, it was even more terrifying in the hands of this mighty figure. Lin Xian raised his hand and shot out an ice phoenix. A huge blue figure covered the sky and crashed into the fire snake. The almighties behind him also spat out attacks that landed on the huge purple flames. Boom, boom, boom. After being hit by so many experts, the purple flame snake was instantly torn apart. However, at this moment, the ground around Lin Xian rumbled. Rocks, walls, and mountains appeared around them. A bare-chested burly man stood in front of the third prince, and his hands were constantly clapping. He emitted a heavy aura that suppressed the 9 heavens. Earth-type king. The other party formed a cage and sealed them. For a moment, Lin Xian and the 3 mighty figures behind him were completely sealed in this special space. Myriad Forms Domain. This was the other party's domain. It was like a vast world with huge walls everywhere. Bang, bang, bang. Beside Lin Xian, a few mighty figures attacked and shattered the thick walls with their palms. They wanted to break out. However, it was useless. Every time one collapsed, more would appear, blotting out the sky and covering the sun. There was no end to this. No, if this continues, we will be trapped here until we die. The 3 mighty figures stopped attacking. Their eyes flickered as they tried to find an opening. Indeed, such futile attacks were useless. They had to find an opening. Lin Xian stood in front, his clothes fluttering in the wind. Occasionally, a golden light would flash in his eyes. Outside, the sky was gray. Lin Xian and the others were enveloped by a strange domain. The Earth-type king sneered. It's useless. You can't break my myriad forms domain. Then he turned around and said to the mighty figures around him, hurry up and attack. Use your king domains to kill them. The mighty figures all activated their king domains, wanting to kill Lin Xian and the others who were trapped inside. However, at this moment, there was a shocking explosion in front of them. Then, a huge crack appeared in the myriad forms domain. Lin Xian and the other 2 charged out like shooting stars. Damn it, this is impossible. How did he break my myriad forms domain? The Earth-type mighty figure spat out a mouthful of blood. He was extremely shocked. He was very confident in his myriad forms domain. Even if the other party was strong, they wouldn't be able to break it in a short time. By the time the other party was about to break it, their domains would have overlapped, and they would have killed the other party. However, he realized that he had underestimated the other party's combat strength. The other party had broken his domain so quickly. Chapter 2169. Wild Thunder Eagle. As soon as he appeared, Lin Xian raised his hand and shot out a bolt of lightning. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning streaked across the sky. Its speed was extremely fast as it charged towards Tianfang. Protect the third prince. Seeing this scene, the surrounding mighty figures roared crazily. The earth element mighty figure even clapped his hands. Mud walls appeared in front of them one after another. The earth walls were extremely thick and emitted a desolate aura, as if they had traveled through time and space. In an instant, more than 10 layers of defense appeared around the third prince. However, the wild thunder eagle was too violent. It was like a heavenly blade that instantly shattered 5 layers of defense. However, the wild thunder eagle exhausted its energy at the 9th layer of defense and turned into countless bolts of lightning that scattered in all directions. Seeing this scene, the third prince and the others heaved a sigh of relief. Fortunately, the other party was not heaven-defying enough to break through all the defenses. This was indeed good news for them. Lin Xian's eyes flickered because this was not his strongest attack. It was already very good that it could achieve such an effect. At this moment, a series of exclamations came from afar. It turned out that the third prince's men had also gone to kill the 8th prince. They quickly shattered a few layers of defense and arrived near the 8th prince. Fortunately, Taoist Master Long and the other elite mighty figures were very powerful and blocked this wave of attacks. Both sides had a tacit understanding. They were both going to assassinate the prince directly. Whoever succeeded first would win. Boom! Lin Xian made his move. He waved the demonic sword in his hand and pressed forward like a mountain. At the same time, the Lord of the Underworld also led his men to sneak attack from behind. The terrifying giant sword slashed down and split the void. On the other side, a huge purple ball of light appeared. Boom! In front of him, the earth element mighty figure struck out with both palms. His palms turned into 2 mountains and met the attack. The 2 collided and made a deafening sound. Boom! The earth element mighty figure was sent flying and spat out large mouthfuls of blood. Although his defense was strong, Lin Xian's attack was even more terrifying. He suffered internal injuries with 1 strike. With a wave of his hand, Lin Xian attacked again. The long sword in his hand slashed down quickly, and streaks of sword light pressed down like mountains. Bang! Bang! The Earth-type powerhouse was sent flying, coughing up large mouthfuls of blood. He was seriously injured. Lin Xian swung his long sword and performed the Chaotic Heaven Destroyer sword. Terrifying chaotic sword Qi slashed at the other almighties. The sword light was like a ferocious dragon and was extremely violent. The surrounding powerful beings all dodged. Boom! A Linglong treasure pagoda descended from the sky and enveloped all of them, forming a powerful defense. Boom! A bronze cauldron appeared once again, forming a second layer of defense. The incomparably terrifying ice walls transformed into numerous ice dragons that coiled around the surroundings. 9 purple shields emitted the aura of thunder and lightning as they floated around the third prince. The third prince had formed an impenetrable defense around him, which was impossible to penetrate. However, the primal chaos heaven destroyer sword technique was a heaven-class technique, and its power was beyond imagination. With Lin Xian's great dragon sword spirit, the combination of the 2 could be said to be earth-shattering. Boom! The 9 purple shields instantly broke into 2 halves and fell from the sky. The blue ice dragon let out a wail as its body was pierced by countless sword Qi. What? How could he be so strong? Seeing the other party break through 2 layers of defense in an instant, these people were about to go crazy. They could not believe it at all. However, Lin Xian's attack was still ongoing. The Hell's Ice Lotus flew out and blasted the bronze cauldron away. Lin Xian strode over. The surrounding energy shockwaves could not cause any harm to him. His current physique was definitely incomparably strong. Buzz! Another chaotic sword light directly sent the last Linglong treasure pagoda flying. Then Lin Xian charged towards the third prince. Seeing that all of their defenses had been destroyed, the surrounding powerful beings roared angrily. They attacked and counterattacked quickly. The sky was filled with terrifying energy, and a terrifying domain enveloped Lin Xian. However, Lin Xian executed the demigods and semi-devils and dodged the attacks with extreme speed, easily dodging the attacks. He appeared on the other side At this moment, the Lord of the Netherworld had arrived. A huge purple ball of light crushed the surroundings, causing the king realm powerful beings to resist crazily again. Demon Seal Lin Xian seized the opportunity and used a killer move of the Chaotic Heaven Destroyer Sword to attack the third prince. Oh no! The surrounding powerful beings roared angrily and wanted to counterattack. However, it was too late. The third prince's pupils constricted as he felt a deadly threat. Buzz. In the next moment, he opened his mouth and spat out the flood dragon scissors, which instantly turned into 2 flood dragons. They bared their fangs and brandished their claws as they collided with the demon seal. The sky collapsed and the earth cracked. The third prince was pushed back, but he managed to block the demon seal's swordplay. Although he managed to block it, the third prince's face was gloomy. This was because it was too dangerous for him. He had never thought that he would have to block it with his own hands. If there were a few more attacks like this, he would not be able to block it. Thinking of this, his eyes turned gloomy as he looked into the distance. Over there, the 8th prince was also waiting and mingling. At this moment, the 8th prince was also in great danger. Therefore, he also took out his ecliptic treasure. The 8th prince's ecliptic treasure was a golden divine sword. At this moment, it was swaying in the wind as if a golden dragon was circling around him, emitting a terrifying power. Whoosh! At this moment, the third prince's pupils constricted as his body suddenly moved to the side. The place where he was originally standing was directly smashed into pieces. The Lord of the Underworld appeared, sneered, and disappeared again. Damn it, form a formation and seal them. The third prince roared as the dragon energy in his body surged out and poured into the bodies of the 5 kings around him. Then, a mysterious formation appeared. 7 stars battle array. I didn't expect that the third prince would even use this battle array. It seems that he is really anxious. In the Grand Imperial Hall, everyone was discussing. They also realized that the third prince's situation was very bad. That was because Lin Xian's attacks were too powerful and could threaten the third prince's life at any time. As expected, Lin Xian attacked again. He was like a god of war. A casual attack could tear the sky apart, even though his opponent had formed a formation. However, as a formation master, Lin Xian specialized in attacking the flaws and weaknesses of the formation, causing it to be unable to sustain. Damn it! How did he know the flaws of the formation? The third prince was so angry that he flew into a rage. Zixin, hurry up and do it! The third prince shouted. Next to him, a middle-aged woman stood out. The middle-aged woman was dressed in purple and had a beautiful face. When she heard the third prince's words, she took out a purple gourd. She shook it gently. Suddenly, a cloud of purple mist floated out and transformed into a terrifying beast in the air. Whoosh, whoosh. In an instant, 6 demonic beasts appeared in the void. They were not ordinary beasts, but terrifying monster kings. Each of them was hundreds of feet long and occupied the void. They emitted a monstrous aura. As soon as the 6 monster kings appeared, they directly shattered the void within a radius of 10,000 miles. The terrifying aura made the surrounding kings change their expressions. Chapter 2170. Go! The purple-clothed woman's black hair fluttered behind her as her eyes flickered. She controlled the 6 demon kings and quickly charged over. Brother Lin, don't worry. We have a beast tamer here as well. The 8th prince shouted loudly and wanted to send out his beast tamer. However, Lin Xian said, "There's no need. Let the beast tamer protect you. I'll deal with these 6 demon kings." At this point, the sharp aura in his eyes erupted once again, and a monstrous sword light swept through heaven and earth. Hearing this, the surrounding king realm experts were shocked. The purple-clothed woman sneered. You want to fight against all of my demon kings alone? You're overestimating yourself. She was an extremely terrifying beast tamer. The demon kings in her hands were not ordinary. Each of them was abnormally ferocious, far surpassing king realm experts of the same level. Now that 6 demon kings had appeared together, it was definitely terrifying. Therefore, in the next moment, she attacked. With a wave of her hand, the fiery red bird quickly rushed out. This was a flaming eagle. It was extremely terrifying. As soon as it appeared, it spread its wings like a sea of red flames surging from the sky. The terrifying heat wave swept in all directions. Boom! The flaming eagle opened its mouth and spat out a huge fireball that rolled toward Lin Xian. Lin Xian stood in the void like a god, his body releasing terrifying sword intent. Behind him, the dragon sword domain appeared. Lin Xian activated the dragon sword soul and charged forward. Boom! Countless sword chi intertwined, and a black phoenix flew out of the dragon sword domain. It spread its wings and covered the 9 heavens. This phoenix was formed by hellfire and sword chi, under the effect of the dragon sword soul. It was as if it was possessed by a real divine beast. As soon as it appeared, it let out a long cry and shattered the 9 heavens as it charged forward. Could it be that this kid was also a beast tamer? When everyone saw this scene, they were extremely shocked. They thought that this was a real phoenix, but soon they shook their heads. Impossible! How could there be a real phoenix in the world? This was this kid's divine ability. Heavens! How could this kid have such a terrifying divine ability? They were too shocked. They didn't know that the great dragon sword spirit's offensive saint technique could simulate everything. At this moment, it was displayed by Lin Xian. It was truly terrifying. The 2 giant beasts fought in the sky. Soon, the flaming eagle let out a wail as its body was pierced through by the other's claw. A terrifying bloody mist appeared. After another 5 moves, the flaming eagle's body was split into 2 halves from the middle. The black phoenix let out a long cry and flapped its wings in the sky. So powerful! While the 3rd prince was astonished, the violet-clothed woman's face darkened. Her opponent had killed one of her demonic kings with a raise of his hand. This made her feel incomparably pained and driven her mad. In the next moment, she urged the 5 demon kings to attack the black phoenix together. Boom! Boom! The void trembled and quickly shattered. The black phoenix was being attacked by the 5 monster kings and was in imminent danger. Seeing this, the people on the 3rd prince's side laughed. They did not believe that the other party could still unleash such a terrifying attack. The 8th prince had a dignified expression, but Lin Xian only sneered disdainfully. Comparing numbers? You're really courting death. Lin Xian stood in the dragon sword domain and roared toward the sky. His body erupted with resplendent light. Everyone was stunned. They saw thousands of sword chi intertwining in the dragon sword domain, and a terrifying demonic beast, phantom, flew out. Phoenix, Qilin, true dragon, 9-headed lion, hell demon elephant, peerless serpent, 3-headed hellhound. Terrifying figures appeared in the sky. They crushed the 9 heavens and shattered the stars. It was as if real primordial demonic beasts had awakened. The terrifying aura made everyone tremble. Damn it! How could it be? How could he have such a method? The 3rd prince's side had gone mad. The violet-clothed woman's body was trembling. Her face was incomparably pale without a trace of blood. She had a total of 5 demonic kings on her side, but the other party had taken out nearly 50 of them. None of them were weaker than her. How could she fight when there was a difference of 10 times? Damn it, these were all energy bodies. They could not stay for a long time. As long as they persevered, they would be fine. The violet-clothed woman's face was gloomy. She naturally knew about this matter. However, she did not know if they could withstand the other party's attack. Sure enough, after a few moves, the violet-clothed woman's 5 demonic beasts were all killed. Blood dyed the sky. It turned into a sea of blood. A few huge corpses smashed onto the ground, causing billowing smoke. In the sky, the demonic kings gradually faded and would disappear at any time. However, Lin Xian still waved his hand. Immediately, 50 demonic king phantoms charged towards the third prince. Block for me. The third prince's scalp went numb. He quickly shot out the flood dragon scissors and instantly pierced through 10 demonic beast phantoms. The remaining 40 or so demonic beasts mercilessly drowned them. Boom, boom, boom. In the next moment, these demonic beast phantoms exploded, turning into a fierce storm that filled the sky. Boom, boom. Several powerful figures were sent flying in an instant. The third prince was drowned and could not be seen clearly at all. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air when they saw this scene. Some of them even stopped fighting. The royal elders in the Grand Imperial Hall were also on tenterhooks. Would the third prince be able to withstand such an attack? They did not know, but they were very worried. The surrounding demonic beasts who were sent flying used their king domains and quickly charged in to save the third prince. When all the light was torn apart and the energy faded, the third prince's figure appeared. His hair was disheveled, and he was in an extremely sorry state. There was blood flowing from his body. The flood dragon scissors beside him also had cracks on them. This was a top-tier treasure. Now that there were cracks on it, one could imagine how terrifying the explosion was. The third prince was injured. Everyone was shocked. The royal elders also exclaimed in surprise. On the other hand, the 8th prince was cheering. From the looks of it, it wouldn't be long before they could eliminate the third prince and eliminate him. The third prince gritted his teeth, and his expression was extremely ferocious. Damn it! Damn it! How could the opponent use such a terrifying method? Even he was injured. If it were not for the flood dragon scissors protecting him, the explosion just now would have eliminated him. Thinking of this, he swallowed a pill and used a secret technique to recover his body. At the same time, he summoned the surrounding demonic beasts to protect him. Looking at the current situation, his strength had been greatly reduced. It was unlikely that he could kill the 8th prince again. Therefore, the third prince wanted to retreat. However, how could the 8th prince and the others let the third prince leave? This was a perfect opportunity. If they missed this opportunity, there would not be a next time. Therefore, the 8th prince and the others launched a fierce attack and attacked the third prince crazily. Lin Xian was even faster. He used the chaotic heaven destroyer sword to the extreme. Every sword chi was extremely terrifying and was even accompanied by a loud dragon roar. Chapter 2171. Almost no one could fight him one-on-one. Even if they surrounded him, Lin Xian could still dodge with his super speed. Damn it, he's too strong. Everyone's face turned ugly. They did not know that this was not Lin Xian's full strength. If Lin Xian used the great dragon sword soul and activated the heavenly secret divine eyes, these people would probably go crazy. Boom, boom. In the end, several powerful figures were sent flying. Lin Xian slashed at the third prince. The third prince's pupils shrank, and he quickly dodged. He was swept by the sword chi and was sent flying. However, the 2 dragons firmly protected him. However, this was not the way to go. Seeing that some of the almighties around him had been pinned down while the rest had been blasted away, there was no one left around him. The third prince's face turned gloomy. He did not expect to face the danger of being eliminated. Thinking of this, he roared angrily, "Old 8, do you dare to fight me one-on-one?" Hearing this, the surrounding powerful figures sneered. The 8th prince also decisively refused. "You are not qualified to fight me. You coward, you don't even dare to fight me one-on-one. How can you be the crown prince?" The third prince was furious. His opponent did not fall for his trick, which made him go crazy. If the crown prince wants to fight me one-on-one, I might consider it. But third brother, you are at the end of the road. Do you still want to make a comeback? Brother Lin, do it. Hearing this, Lin Xian held the demonic sword in his hand and strode forward. Damn brat, I won't let you succeed. The third prince roared and launched a fierce attack. Anyway, they had protective talismans and would not really die. Therefore, he had to kill this detestable brat at all costs. The aura of the Tao of Dragon on his body burst out. The third prince crazily activated the flood dragon scissors and attacked. The two dragons roared and turned into demonic beasts that were thousands of feet long. They attacked crazily. The terrifying aura pierced through everything. Feeling this aura, the faces of the elites on the eighth prince's side changed. The third prince's strength was so terrifying. They were too shocked. That was because they had not thought the third prince to be very powerful before. But now, the third prince had unleashed his full strength. This caused them to be extremely shocked. Lin Xian also activated the Great Dragon Sword Soul and used the Chaotic Heaven Destroyer Sword to quickly slash forward. The sword technique was incomparably horrifying, slicing the entire void apart. The boundless sword light was like the stars in the sky, exploding everything in front of it. The third prince's expression changed. He could feel the threat of death from Lin Xian's sword chi, which made him shudder with fear. However, there were terrifying sword chi all around him. It was like a cage that firmly locked onto him. He had no way of escaping at all. Boom, boom. The third prince could only activate the flood dragon scissors and resist madly. He shattered some of the sword chi, but even more sword chi came at him. The primal chaos heaven destroyer sword was indeed a heaven-tier cultivation technique. It was extremely terrifying. Coupled with an offensive saint art like the great dragon sword spirit, Lin Xian's sword aura was like a divine sword from beyond the heavens. It was abnormally terrifying. Clang, clang. The third prince's yellow flood dragon scissors were beaten back again and again, and more cracks appeared on them. They could split open at any time. However, it was still a top-tier treasure after all. It could hold on for a while, but the third prince's situation was getting more and more dangerous. Roar! The third prince roared angrily. His eyes were bloodshot, and killing intent surged from his body. It was all because of this detestable kid in front of him that he was about to be eliminated. If he was eliminated, then he would completely lose his position as the crown prince, and he would never be able to take it back. Thinking of this, he roared at the sky, and his black hair danced wildly. At this moment, he was like a killing god, staring at Lin Xian. Kid, I want you dead. The third prince took out another golden treasure box. The box was the size of 2 palms, and it was golden all over. It was as bright as the sun, and it shone brightly. There were dragons carved on it, and one could tell at a glance that it was no ordinary item. The royal elders in the Grand Imperial Hall were also shocked when they saw the golden treasure box. Could it be that thing? The third prince was too bold. How could he bring that thing with him? What was he trying to do? Many of the royal elders' expressions changed because they had already guessed what was inside the golden treasure box. Even the Empress and His Majesty frowned. In the battle, the third prince's expression was ferocious. Kid, this is between you and me. You can go to hell for me. As he spoke, he quickly opened the golden treasure box. Suddenly, the sky was filled with red light, and the entire sky was dyed red. A monstrous, murderous aura swept out in all directions. Everyone trembled, and even the elites were no exception. What is this thing that contains such a murderous aura? Damn it, this is the blood essence of the royal family. At the back, the third prince exclaimed, "Be careful, don't get hurt by that thing. This is the blood essence left behind by a supreme expert of the royal family. One drop is enough to kill a top-tier mighty. If there are a few more drops, it won't be a problem to kill a supreme expert. So terrifying. When the other elites heard this, their scalps went numb, and they quickly retreated. No one dared to get close to the third prince. Heavens, one drop of blood could kill them. This is too terrifying. This must be the blood left behind by a supreme expert. Even Lin Xian frowned. He didn't expect the third prince to have such a treasure. Thinking of this, his face turned gloomy. He felt that he had to get rid of the third prince quickly. Otherwise, the third prince might cause trouble again. After thinking about it, Lin Xian didn't plan to use the Tianji Divine Eyes. If he used the Tianji Divine Eyes, he could destroy the third prince's soul, but he couldn't kill the third prince. Unless he really destroyed the third prince's soul, the third prince would definitely recognize his eye technique when his soul recovered. It was the legendary Tianji Divine Eyes. At that time, he would be mercilessly hunted down by the entire Tai dynasty. After all, this thing was more precious than any rare treasure. It was enough to make a supreme dynasty go crazy. Thinking of this, Lin Xian gritted his teeth and decided to use the second killing move of the Chaotic Heaven Destroyer Sword at all costs. In the next moment, the great dragon sword soul in his body circulated wildly. Chaotic Heaven Destroyer Sword. Demon Seal. He swung his sword, and a terrifying sword chi slashed out. The third prince felt that his life was not in danger, and he frantically took out the drop of blood from the golden box. Buzz. The drop of blood was crystal clear, but it contained supreme energy and terrifying killing intent. The moment it appeared, the entire void shattered. Countless cracks spread out for thousands of miles, unable to withstand the power at all. Boom, boom, boom. The two attacks collided, and the entire void was torn apart in an instant. In front of him, the bright, chaotic sword chi collided with it, and then it shattered. This was a heaven-class cultivation technique. It shattered in an instant. One could imagine how terrifying the power contained in this drop of blood was. However, although the demon sealing sword chi shattered, the energy in the drop of blood was mostly depleted. The murderous aura on it was not as fierce as before. However, it still charged toward Lin Xian. Chapter 2172. Everyone's hearts were in their throats. They wanted to know if Lin Xian could withstand it. Lin Xian focused his gaze, and a bright light burst out from his eyes. Then he used his second killer move, Chaotic Heaven Destroyer Sword, War Song, a sword chi that was even more terrifying than the previous one, slashed out and sliced the blood in half. The terrifying sword essence on top of it frantically destroyed the energy inside. Boom. At the same time, the entire sky was split apart. What? It was sliced apart. The third prince's pupils shrank when he saw this. He did not expect that his last killer move would be broken apart by his opponent. He could not believe it. In the next moment, he was sent flying by the sword chi and vomited blood. Crack, crack, crack. More than half of the third prince's bones were broken, and the golden box in his hand was also sliced apart. However, he did not teleport out. Seeing this, Lin Xian roared, and the sword soul in his body circulated wildly. Then, a dragon-shaped sword chi was slashed out by him. Roar. When the sword slashed out, there was a loud dragon roar in the surroundings, and countless lightning bolts seemed to fall from the sky. No, you can't kill me, the third prince roared crazily. This sword was even more terrifying than the previous one. He did not expect that his opponent's combat power would be so strong. He could not withstand it at all. He wanted to escape, but he could not. In the next moment, he was drowned by the sword chi. No. Seeing this scene, many almighties cried out in alarm. Their faces were ashen and filled with despair. This was because they could feel that this sword was too terrifying. Even if the third prince was not injured, he would not be able to withstand it. Now that the third prince was seriously injured, he would not be able to withstand it. If the third prince was eliminated, then all of them would be eliminated. In this way, they would not be able to receive the baptism of the imperial dragon bloodline. In front of them, the violent energy continued to flood the area. The surrounding people could not see it clearly. However, everyone's eyes were extremely solemn, regardless of whether it was the third prince or the eighth prince. Buzz, buzz, buzz. However, at this moment, all the almighties on the third prince's side shone brightly. A terrifying spatial energy quickly formed on their bodies. What is this? These people's faces changed, but the eighth prince's face was filled with ecstasy. We won! We won! The Nether King, Daoist Long, and the others gasped when they heard this. Their eyes shone brightly. They were too excited. This meant that the third prince had been eliminated, and the remaining powerhouses would also be teleported out. Sure enough, in the next moment, these powerful beings were enveloped by a mysterious force. They tore through the void and disappeared. In front of him, the energy vortex also gradually disappeared before dispersing. The void in front of him quickly healed, and the third prince was nowhere to be seen. Seeing this scene, the eighth prince's side cheered. Inside the Grand Imperial Hall, the royal elders were all extremely shocked. They never thought that the third prince would actually lose. How could this be? The elders who supported the third prince all had ugly expressions on their faces as they gnashed their teeth. Those who supported the eighth prince were very excited. Inside the imperial palace, there was another hall. There was a huge formation there. It was very mysterious. The array suddenly flickered, and then a figure appeared. This person was the third prince. As soon as he appeared, he roared furiously at the sky, as if he had gone mad. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! The third prince gritted his teeth. His eyes were red, and the murderous aura on his body pierced through the void. Lin Xian, how dare you eliminate me? I will definitely kill you. I will tear you into pieces. The third prince roared crazily. However, no matter how much he roared, he could not change the fact that he had been eliminated. The news of the third prince's appearance swept out like a gust of wind. When the other princes heard about it, they were all extremely shocked and could not believe it. To be honest, if the second prince, the sixth prince, and the seventh prince were eliminated, they would not be shocked. They would not be too shocked. After all, these princes were ordinary and would be eliminated sooner or later. However, the first to be eliminated was the third prince. The third prince was one of the three strongest princes. His strength was extremely terrifying. He was the most popular prince in the battle for the position of crown prince. He had a high chance of becoming the crown prince. However, such a person had been eliminated. How could they not be shocked? When they found out that it was the eighth prince who eliminated the third prince, they all fell silent. This was because the eighth prince was also one of the three strongest princes. Now that he had defeated the third prince, it could be said that he was extremely powerful. Perhaps only the first prince could fight against him. After the first prince received the news, his face turned gloomy and he snorted coldly. This eighth prince was able to defeat the third prince. This is really surprising. However, if he wants to deal with me, he is still too weak. The first prince could not let his guard down. I feel that the reason why the eighth prince was able to defeat the third prince was related to Lin Xian. After all, he had just obtained a unique treasure. Perhaps it was the unique treasure that played a role. Yes, that's right. I think so too. After the first prince said that, the surrounding experts nodded their heads. The first prince's eyes flickered. Then he said, "Where is the Golden Lion King? Let him come back. We will meet him." Lin Xian had already met up with the eighth prince. It would be dangerous for him to go alone. Moreover, calculating the time, it was almost time for the final battle to begin. Let's eliminate the other princes first. Next, the first prince started to act. He did not specifically look for the eighth prince. Instead, he pushed his way through. He eliminated all the princes that he encountered along the way. The eighth prince had the same plan. He also pushed his way through. Soon, the weaker princes were eliminated. In the end, only the first prince, the eighth prince, and the stronger fourth prince, the ninth prince, and the 15th prince were left. Among them, the ninth prince and the 15th prince joined forces to fight against the first prince. On the other side, the eighth prince and the fourth prince met. Ninth prince, 15th prince, you too should obediently admit defeat. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite. Humph, you want us to admit defeat? Sure, show us your strength and defeat us. Otherwise, it's impossible for us to surrender with just a few words. The ninth prince snorted coldly. The 15th prince also had a serious expression. The kings around them all looked as if they were facing a great enemy. You're courting death. Since you want to fight me, I won't hold back. The first prince sneered. Then, a giant dragon appeared on his body. Go, kill them. The first prince shouted coldly. The kings around him also started to move. At the same time, a golden figure descended from the sky. He was like a god of war. His aura suppressed the surroundings. Not good, it's the Golden Lion King. Quickly stop him. The ninth prince and the 15th prince roared. They knew how terrifying the Golden Lion King was. They could not let him get close. Otherwise, they would be in danger. Chapter 2173. Boom. A fierce battle broke out. However, the first prince's side was too strong. In addition to the Golden Lion King, the ninth prince and the 15th prince were eliminated in the end. Eighth prince, you're the only one left. The first prince sneered. Then he waved his hand and led his men to set off again. On the other side, the fourth prince and the eighth prince met and fought fiercely. Among them, Jian Shisan stood out. He looked at Lin Xian without saying a word. However, the sword intent on his body was getting more and more terrifying. The aura he emitted was far stronger than before. Obviously, Jian Shisan had also obtained a great opportunity during this period of time and improved his strength. Lin Xian naturally knew what Jian Shisan meant. Therefore, he also took a step forward and sword chi surged on his body. Then, he used the Chaotic Heaven Destroyer sword and fought with Jian Shisan. What a terrifying sword technique! Jian Shisan and Lin Xian exchanged more than 10 moves and were defeated. His arms were trembling slightly because his opponent's sword technique was too terrifying. He didn't use this sword technique in the first stage. Could it be that he obtained it in some ruins? Jian Shisan was extremely shocked. Jian Shisan was defeated, and soon the fourth prince was defeated as well. It couldn't be helped. Although the fourth prince was powerful, he was still lacking when compared to the third prince. Since the third prince was eliminated, the fourth prince would definitely not be able to hold on for long. Therefore, the fourth prince and the kings around him were all teleported out. In the royal palace, the fourth prince and the others appeared. They also sighed, knowing that they had no chance to compete for the position of crown prince this time. Let's go. The fourth prince tidied his clothes and said, let's go and see if the first prince or the eighth prince won this time. Although he lost, the fourth prince wasn't too depressed, because he knew from the beginning that his chances of winning the position of crown prince were less than 10%. Therefore, in the second stage, he led his men to search for all kinds of ruins and obtain the treasures inside to increase his strength. He had done his best to do what he should do. Therefore, there was no need to be disappointed now. Right now, he wanted to go and watch the final battle. Not only him. All the princes went to the grand imperial palace. Those powerful beings also followed one after another. They were still in the camp of their respective princes, so they naturally had the opportunity to watch the final battle. In an instant, the Grand Imperial Hall became extremely lively. Everyone was discussing who the final victor was. Humph, was there even a need to think? It had to be the first prince. With the strength of the Crown Prince's lineup, as well as the Golden Lion King, who could be the Crown Prince's opponent. No matter how strong the eighth prince was, it was impossible for him to compete with the eldest prince. That's right, the final victor would definitely be the first prince. Many old men spoke bold words. It was obvious that they supported the first prince. Hearing this, the corners of the Empress's mouth curled up slightly, revealing a smile. However, some people didn't think so. Not necessarily. The eighth prince was not to be underestimated. Moreover, he still had Lin Xian. That kid had obtained a lot of rare treasures. I'm sure you've all seen the previous battle. Lin Xian's battle prowess is incomparably terrifying. He's definitely at the top. There would definitely be no problem for him to compete with the Golden Lion King. Yes, there would be no problem for him to compete with the Golden Lion King. However, do you think the eighth prince would be able to compete with the first prince among the remaining people? Someone sneered. In short, everyone was discussing intensely. However, at this moment, someone exclaimed, "Look, they've met." Hearing this, everyone shut their mouths. Their eyes widened as they looked at the screen. They discovered that the first prince and the eighth prince had indeed met. The two sides were facing each other in the air, and the void was directly shattered. Seeing this scene, everyone took a deep breath. Their expressions were incomparably solemn. The blood in their bodies was about to boil, because this was the final battle. The eighth prince and the first prince had met. The eighth prince was incomparably solemn. The King Almighties behind him also looked as if they were facing a great enemy. After all, the first prince was the strongest prince. He had many trump cards in his hands, and he also had the Golden Lion King. It could be said that his strength was incomparably terrifying. Old 8, I didn't expect that the one who would fight with me in the end would be you. The first prince looked over and said coldly, "However, against me, you have no chance of winning. If you don't want to lose too much, I advise you to obediently take your people and admit defeat. Otherwise, when I make my move, you won't have a good ending." Humph! The eighth prince coldly snorted. It wasn't certain who would win or lose. Since they had already reached the final step, how could he admit defeat at this moment? "You're courting death." Seeing that the eighth prince still wanted to resist, the first prince sneered. The King Almighties behind him also emitted a terrifying aura. At the same time, in the sky, a golden figure descended. Boom! A terrifying aura pressed down in all directions. The Golden Lion King. Seeing this golden figure, the eighth prince's side sucked in a breath of cold air. The moment the Golden Lion King descended, he didn't care about anyone else. His eyes were fixed on Lin Xian. "Kid, hand over the heavenly treasure. Otherwise die." Humph! Lin Xian snorted and took a step forward. His body emitted a biting cold aura. "You want the heavenly treasure in my hands? Sure, but you have to defeat me. The heavenly treasure is yours. You're courting death." The Golden Lion King's face sank. A sharp light flashed in his eyes. Then a strange rune appeared between his eyebrows. The power of his bloodline immediately surged. That rune was very dazzling and incomparably mysterious. It made people feel dizzy just by looking at it. The chi and blood in the Golden Lion King's body was like a furnace, emitting a terrifying light. Rays of rainbow light shot into the sky, stirring up the wind and clouds. Boom! A terrifying aura erupted, causing everyone's expression to change, especially the eighth prince's side. Everyone looked as if they were facing a great enemy. There was nothing they could do. The aura emitted by the Golden Lion King was too terrifying. It made them feel suffocated. Was this the power of the war tribe's bloodline? It was too terrifying. That's right. He was only a 6-star king, but he already had the battle strength of a peak almighty. If he entered the realm of Almighty, wouldn't he be heaven-defying? Everyone was shocked. After the Golden Lion King used his bloodline power, his aura became extremely sharp. His gaze was like a golden divine sword, piercing through the void. At this moment, he didn't seem like a human. Instead, he seemed like a high and mighty war god looking down on the common people. Humph, Lin Xian snorted. Since you want to fight, I'll fulfill your wish. As his voice fell, a terrifying light surged from his body. The great dragon sword soul in his body erupted. A majestic sword aura shot into the sky. Buzz. With a slash, the primal chaos destroyer sword soul's power erupted. It was incomparably terrifying, like a heavenly sword descending. Chapter 2174. Buzz. With a slash, the primal chaos heaven destroyer sword was unleashed. Mixed with the power of the great dragon sword soul, it was incomparably terrifying. Boom. The Golden Lion King clenched his fist, and the bloodline power in his body surged crazily. Then he punched out. When the two collided, shocking energy exploded, and the surrounding space quickly collapsed. An extremely powerful energy storm formed between the two of them. Not good. Retreat. When the surrounding King Almighties saw this scene, their expressions changed. They frantically retreated, and instantly retreated a few thousand miles. Even the first prince and the 8th prince quickly retreated. Soon, the space where they were originally standing turned into countless cracks and then collapsed. Not only that, the cracks were still spreading. Soon, it spread from 1,000 miles to 10,000 miles. The entire space within 10,000 miles was completely shattered. The violent energy swallowed Lin Xian and the Golden Lion King. It was too terrifying. Everyone looked at the scene in front of them with fear. Even the elders in the Grand Imperial Hall felt their scalps go numb. This was just a casual attack from the two young men, and it caused such a terrifying scene. If the two of them attacked with their full strength, how terrifying would it be? They didn't dare to imagine. Those princes were also silent, especially the 3rd prince. He was so angry that he was gnashing his teeth. Right now, his killing intent towards Lin Xian could be said to be monstrous. However, now that he saw how powerful Lin Xian was, and how he could actually fight the Golden Lion King head-on, he was even more furious. The first prince's expression was grave and somewhat cold. He didn't expect Lin Xian to be able to fight the Golden Lion King. It was really out of his expectations. However, in the next moment, he sneered. He didn't have the Golden Lion King, but his side was still very strong. However, on the 8th prince's side, without Lin Xian, his strength would probably be greatly reduced. Therefore, in the next moment, his gaze was like a knife as he stared at the 8th prince. Old 8, follow me to the other side to fight. Humph! The 8th prince snorted and flew away with Daoist Long and the other kings. After flying for 30,000 miles, they stopped. It couldn't be helped. If they wanted to fight, they couldn't rely on Lin Xian and the Golden Lion King to get too close. Otherwise, they would be affected. Let the two young geniuses fight. The first prince also followed behind and stopped. He laughed coldly and said, Old 8, let me see if you have made any progress during this period. You will see, the 8th prince said in a deep voice. A dragon-shaped phantom appeared on his body. Then, with a cold shout, he attacked. Boom, boom. Terrifying energy erupted as the 8th prince and the 3rd prince finally clashed. Everyone in the Grand Imperial Hall was astonished when they saw the dazzling lights dancing on the screen and Wu Ji's divine ability. However, they actually wanted to see the battle between the Golden Lion King and Xian. But now, the first prince and the eighth prince were more than 30,000 miles away from Lin Xian and the others, so the light screen couldn't show them. They could only wait patiently. However, at this moment, a very powerful elder of the royal family said in a deep voice, perhaps the key to this battle was to see who would emerge victorious between Lin Xian and the Golden Lion King. Hearing this, everyone was shocked. Could it be that the two young men were already able to affect the entire battle? However, after thinking about it, it was indeed so. Thinking of this, they couldn't help but become excited. On the other side, Lin Xian and the Golden Lion King clashed, causing the sky to collapse and the earth to split. Then, the two of them stopped again, and each stood on one side. The Golden Lion King's body shone, brightly like a god of war. He retracted his fist with a cold expression. Kid, hand over the heavenly emperor's treasure obediently. Otherwise, your end will be very miserable. I've said it before. If you defeat me, the treasure will be yours. Lin Xian replied in a deep voice. All right, I'll let you see the ultimate skill of my war tribe today. As soon as he finished speaking, the aura on his body became violent again. He was like an immemorial beast. He recovered quickly. Burning Sun Fist. The Golden Lion King's arms danced, and the power of his bloodline spread out. A violent aura swept through the world. Each fist was incomparably terrifying, like a sun blooming in the sky. This fist technique of mine is a set of ultimate skills of the war tribe. Under the power of my bloodline, it's incomparably terrifying. No one below the realm of supreme beings can resist it. You are no exception. The Golden Lion King transformed into a ball of fiery red sun as it charged towards Lin Xian at high speed. Is that so? What war tribe? It's just a legend. I was able to injure you last time, and I can do the same this time. Lin Xian pulled out the 9 nether demon sword, and a terrifying killing intent bloomed from his body. In the next moment, he used the primal chaos heaven destroyer sword and faced the attack. Boom. Soon, the two of them met in the air. The golden fist and the sharp sword technique collided once again. The sky fell, and the earth cracked. Nothing could withstand this power. Lin Xian also frowned because he felt that the other party's power had become stronger again. It was even more violent than before. It was as if thousands of mountains were pressing down on his sword, making his demon sword incomparably heavy. Do you feel it? This is my true power. Do you think you can contend against it? The Golden Lion King's handsome face revealed a trace of malevolence. Then he attacked again. Burning heaven and earth, the golden fist burned fiercely and turned into 2 golden suns. It attacked again and forced Lin Xian to retreat. The Golden Lion King walked over with large strides, creating countless cracks in the void. With every step, the aura on his body condensed. The power of bloodline turned into strange demonic runes one after another, appearing on his body. In the dark, there seemed to be an incomparably terrifying battle intent that was awakening and erupting. You injured me last time because I was careless. This time, I will use all of my bloodline power. I will let you know how terrifying the war tribe is. It's not something you can imagine. The golden rune between the Golden Lion King's eyebrows flickered. The power of bloodline in his body quickly circulated. His fist transformed into thousands of suns, crushing the void and enveloping Lin Xian. Each sun was incomparably terrifying. They burned fiercely and could instantly kill an elite supreme expert. Perhaps even a peak supreme expert wouldn't be able to withstand it. Lin Xian's expression was grave. He didn't expect this Golden Lion King to be more terrifying and powerful than he imagined, as expected of the legendary genius of the war tribe. It was absolutely heaven-defying. This was the most terrifying enemy he had encountered so far. In the next moment, he would use the primal chaos heaven destroyer sword. a terrifying sword light would surge out and slash apart the sun-like phantoms one after another. However, when the sun phantoms exploded, the energy formed caused a terrifying impact to him. Fortunately, his physique had been refined by the immemorial demonic blood and far surpassed before. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to withstand it. Kid, I didn't expect you to be more powerful than before. Interesting indeed. However, you are not my opponent at all. Chapter 2175. The Golden Lion King was surprised to see that Lin Xian was able to block the golden suns in the sky. He realized that Lin Xian's strength was indeed stronger than the last time they met. But so what? He had fully activated his bloodline power. He could even kill a god. Limitless heaven and earth. The Golden Lion King's fist technique became extremely berserk again. Terrifying golden fists appeared in the sky. Then they formed a golden ocean and rolled over. The void collapsed in an instant. There was nothing that could withstand it at all. At this moment, Lin Xian felt a great sense of danger. Even the King Almighties who were fighting tens of thousands of miles away trembled as fear rose in their hearts. They subconsciously turned their heads and looked at the sky tens of thousands of miles away. Their golden light flickered. It was impossible to see clearly. However, the aura it emitted seemed to be able to devour heaven and earth. Lin Xian also felt threatened. He didn't dare to be careless. He covered himself with the black battle armor and summoned the Ice Guardian. Then, Lin Xian used the Primal Chaos Heaven Destroyer sword and attacked. Demon Seal. Terrifying sword chi was unleashed. It seemed to be able to seal the heaven and earth. Therefore, the golden waves that the Golden Lion King shot out gradually dimmed under the influence of Demon Seal. It seemed like they would disappear at any time. What was going on? Why did the golden light in the distance suddenly dim? The kings 30,000 miles away were extremely confused. The Golden Lion King also frowned. He could feel a mysterious power weakening his strength. Boom. In the next moment, the golden light in the sky disappeared completely. It was completely sealed. What was this? The Golden Lion King frowned. A trace of coldness appeared in his eyes. The burning sky scorching sun fist was his war tribe's ultimate skill. It was extremely violent and terrifying. No one could resist it, let alone seal it. But now, the berserk power he had unleashed had inexplicably disappeared. He was unable to believe it. However, before he could react, Lin Xian charged at him once again. Seeing this scene, the Golden Lion King's face darkened. Not only did he fail to injure Lin Xian, but his attack was also destroyed. This made him furious. One must know that he was the Golden Lion King. He was a genius of the war tribe. He had never placed anyone in his eyes. But now, Lin Xian was provoking him again and again. He even successfully suppressed him. This made him so angry that his lungs were about to explode. Damn brat. Go to hell. The Golden Lion King roared. The golden light in his body suddenly burst out and engulfed the surroundings. At the same time, 2 balls of golden flames appeared on his fists. Instantly, the spiritual chi within a radius of 10,000 miles surged towards him and entered the 2 balls of flames in his hands. The 2 balls of flames became even more resplendent, as if they were the flames of the gods. Hoop boom! The void directly collapsed, unable to withstand this power at all. Soon after, the Golden Lion King formed a seal with both of its hands, and the 2 golden flames began to fuse together. Suddenly, an even more terrifying aura burst out. Not only that, but the golden flame also began to transform into a golden divine tree that was burning fiercely. Above the golden birth god tree, clusters of golden phantoms appeared like suns. Sun God's palm. With a wave of his palm, the sky was filled with flames. It was as if a real sun had descended to the mortal world. That terrifying aura directly shattered the mountain peak below. Large swathes of the forest burned and turned into ashes. In the Golden Lion King's hand, the golden flames turned into 9 golden crows. They spread their wings and flew towards Lin Xian. Soon after, they grew in size and turned into 300-meter-long demonic beasts. They were incomparably terrifying. Lin Xian roared. The dragon sword domain quickly appeared and turned into 2 true dragons. They circled around his hands. In the next moment, he grabbed the void and pulled with force. Ka, ka, ka. The entire void was like a piece of cloth. It was torn in half from the middle. A huge black crack flew out from Lin Xian's fingertip and spread forward. The skies seemed to have really been split open. The violent spatial energy spread out in all directions. It even charged towards the Golden Lion King. This was a very terrifying method. It was equivalent to Lin Xian withstanding the terrifying spatial energy. However, countless sword chi rose from his body and destroyed the power of space. However, the 9 golden crows in front were fiercely attacked. The first 3 golden crows were instantly torn in half by the spatial energy. They turned into countless flames and fell into the dark void. However, this was an absolute art after all. In addition to the power of the Golden Lion King's bloodline, it was incomparably terrifying and burned fiercely. The 6 golden crows behind directly shattered the void and attacked again. They fought against the spatial crack. In the end, they disappeared into the void together. Spatial energy? The Golden Lion King frowned. He didn't expect the other party to have grasped this spatial energy. This spatial energy was very difficult to grasp. As far as he knew, only the Gu family of the East had grasped it. He didn't expect the other party to have it. However, in the next moment, the corner of his mouth curled up into a cold smile. Brat, don't think that you can threaten me just because you have grasped the spatial energy. You are too naive. I will let you know the true power of my war tribe. The Golden Lion King's mouth curled up into a sinister smile. The golden light in his eyes bloomed even more. The golden rune between his brows became even more resplendent. In the next moment, he stretched out his hands and pulled with force. Crack, crack, crack. Instantly, the void in front of him was torn apart. A huge black crack spread out. That scene was exactly the same as Lin Xian's. It was as if it was copied. In the sky, 2 incomparably dark spatial cracks were spread out. Everyone within 100,000 miles could see it. At this moment, not to mention the 8th prince and the 1st prince, even the people in the Grand Imperial Hall could see it through the screen. They were extremely terrified. What kind of ability did the 2 of them use? How could they tear apart such a terrifying space? Heavens, this couldn't be spatial energy, right? Otherwise, ordinary energy wouldn't be able to tear apart such a terrifying void. That's right. Only an invincible king could create such a spatial crack. Other than that, other than spatial energy, I can't think of anything else. The 2 of them actually know how to use spatial energy. How is this possible? Everyone was stunned. They couldn't understand it at all. Lin Xian furrowed his brows as well. When he saw that the other party was doing the exact same thing as him and creating a scene, he immediately frowned. What's going on? Why does it feel so familiar? Lin Xian coldly snorted. He formed a seal with both hands. The hell's ice lotus flew out from his hands and rushed forward. Useless brat. The Golden Lion King's mouth curled up into a sinister smile. The power of his bloodline bloomed even more. He also formed a seal. Soon after, a golden lotus flew out and enlarged. It was like a golden mountain as it rotated in the empty palace. The aura it emitted was incomparably terrifying. Chapter 2176. A golden lotus quickly flew out and enlarged. It was like a golden mountain as it rotated in the illusory palace. The aura it emitted was extremely terrifying. Boom, boom, boom. The two lotuses collided in the air and formed a terrifying storm. Then they were extinguished together. It was the same attack again. Lin Xian frowned even more. In the next moment, the demon-slaying sword formation appeared under his feet. An immemorial shadow soared into the sky. The black shadow carried a violent power as it charged towards the Golden Lion King. The Golden Lion King sneered in disdain. At this moment, he was like a god of war that controlled the world. Countless golden patterns spread under his feet and turned into golden flames. They condensed into a golden illusory shadow. It was like an immemorial demon god that emitted a desolate aura. It really looked like a golden immemorial demon beast that had awakened. Boom, boom. Another shocking collision. Then, the two completely disappeared in the void. Lin Xian, on the other hand, was completely stunned. He was too familiar with this method. No matter what the other party used, he could simulate it. This was a divine ability that came with his great dragon sword soul. How did the other party know how to use it? Lin Xian was too surprised. It could even be said that he was extremely shocked, because he didn't expect the Golden Lion King's move to be so similar to his. But how was this possible? The reason why he could do it was because he had the great dragon sword soul. It could simulate and simulate everything. How did the other party do it? Why was it able to simulate the move he used? Could it be that the other party also had a similar divine ability or treasure? Lin Xian didn't know, but he was extremely shocked. Rizalong, hey Tu, do you know the origin of the war tribe? Lin Xian asked through voice transmission. However, Rizalong and Hey Tu shook their heads. The war tribe was prosperous about 100,000 years ago. However, it gradually declined. 10,000 years ago, it completely disappeared. When I was there, the war tribe had already disappeared. And Hong said, Hey Tu also said that when I was there, the war tribe was very low-key. Therefore, I couldn't find anything. Lin Xian's frown deepened when he heard the voice transmission. Even Hey Tu and the Crimson Dragon didn't know about what happened 100,000 years ago, so how could he know? However, he guessed that the war race was definitely not that simple. Seeing Lin Xian's astonished expression and frowning appearance, the Golden Lion King smiled. How is it? Brat, are you very astonished? It's no wonder you're surprised. I can use all the martial skills and divine abilities you use. Therefore, in front of me, you have no chance of winning. A confident smile appeared on the Golden Lion King's face. He looked at Lin Xian with pity in his eyes. I admit that you can be considered a genius, surpassing most people. But unfortunately, you met me. The war race is not something you can imagine. The War Clan's foundation also far surpasses your understanding. Therefore, they had to obediently hand over the heavenly treasure. I'll give you a quick death. Otherwise, you will experience what it means to be in despair, to live a life worse than death. Hearing the Golden Lion King's words, Lin Xian regained his senses and coldly snorted. Although he didn't know what method the Golden Lion King used to imitate his divine abilities, he still dared to challenge the war race. However, the other party actually dared to compete with him in this aspect. He was really courting death. The great dragon sword soul wasn't someone to be trifled with. As long as Lin Xian used his full strength, it would definitely be terrifying. Therefore, the other party was truly courting death. Humph, this is your method? The divine ability of your war race? In my opinion, it's only SOSO. Lin Xian coldly snorted. Only SOSO? Brat, don't boast. I can use all the divine abilities, you know. Moreover, under the power of my bloodline, they're definitely stronger than yours. What can you use to defeat me? Even stronger than mine? You're too confident, too naive. You can give it a try and see if it's stronger than mine. Lin Xian disdainfully snorted. He would let the other party know what was called the Great Dragon Sword Soul, unparalleled in the world. Since you're courting death, I'll grant you your wish. The Golden Lion King's face sank. Since the other party didn't know the difference between life and death, there was no need for him to hold back. On the other side, Lin Xian's palms formed seals again. The black hellfire and the blue sea god's ice quickly merged in front of him. However, this time, it wasn't a simple fusion. Lin Xian poured the power of the great dragon sword soul into it. The Hell's Ice Lotus was formed. On the surface of the lotus, dragon patterns appeared, emitting a terrifying aura. This power was several times stronger than before. Lin Xian waved his arm, and the Hell's Ice Lotus flew out. It's useless. I've already learned this move. You're not my opponent at all. Seeing Lin Xian using the Hell's Ice Lotus, the Golden Lion King sneered in disdain. He quickly formed seals with his palms, and the power of his bloodline surged. A golden lotus rose into the air and flew out quickly. Boom! In the next moment, the two collided in the air, and a terrifying energy swept out. Humph! Although it's just an imitation, my bloodline power is definitely far stronger than yours. This time, you won't be able to block it at all. The Golden Lion King stood behind with a cold gaze. However, in the next moment, he was stunned. Even his pupils shrank abruptly. Damn it! How is this possible? He was extremely shocked because he felt that the Hell's Ice Lotus he formed was quickly shattering into pieces. The other party's Hell's Ice Lotus was coming at him with a terrifying aura. Boom! In an instant, it arrived in front of him. How is this possible? He was extremely shocked and didn't dare to believe it. How did the other party's power increase again? In fact, it even surpassed the power of his bloodline. What's going on? He couldn't understand. However, he didn't have time to think about it. The Hell's Ice Lotus in front of him had already enveloped him. If this energy exploded, it would definitely threaten his life. Therefore, in the next moment, the Golden Lion King roared, and his speed exploded to the limit. He turned into a stream of light and disappeared in an instant. At the same time, he waved his fists and used the fearless lion seal. The terrifying seal was infused with his bloodline power. It was as if a real demon king had awakened. In an instant, he collided with the Hell's Ice Lotus in front of him. Only then did he block the Hell's Ice Lotus. However, he was still affected by this energy and kept retreating. The golden flames on his body were extinguished by quite a bit. Damn it! What's going on? His divine ability was even more powerful than before. The Golden Lion King retreated to the back with an incomparably cold expression. Previously, he had tested the other party's power. It was the same as when he didn't use his bloodline power. Now that he used his bloodline power, his combat power had increased by several times. It would definitely not be a problem to kill the other party. Even if he used the same move, he would still be able to defeat the other party. However, the situation now was beyond his expectations. Both parties used the same move, but his move was broken. In other words, the other party's divine ability was more powerful than his. However, how is this possible? Chapter 2177. He was a genius of the war tribe and possessed an incomparably terrifying bloodline power. He was born for battle. His battle prowess had reached the pinnacle of the younger generation. How could his opponent be stronger than him? He did not believe it. Why? Are you surprised? Is it out of your expectations? On the other side, Lin Xian stepped in the air and walked over. He revealed a trace of ridicule. Who do you think you are to be able to control everything? Do you think the war tribe is really as powerful as the legends say? In my opinion, it's only SOSO. At least you can't control me. Damn it, I don't believe it. The Golden Lion King roared. Brat, I don't know what secret technique you use to stimulate your body's potential. That's why your battle prowess is multiplied. But thinking about it, this secret technique can't last for too long. It can't be compared to my bloodline power at all. Ignorant. The war tribe was strong, but they were not the strongest. Otherwise, they wouldn't have declined. Lin Xian's expression was cold. Do you still think that your war tribe is at its peak? You're courting death. My war tribe just doesn't want to come out. Now, I'll let you know how powerful I am. The Golden Lion King was really angry. His opponent actually dared to look down on him and look down on the war tribe. This was something that the arrogant Golden Lion King could not tolerate. Hence, in the next moment, he roared, and the golden flames on his body jumped. He instantly turned into a huge golden giant and roared towards the sky. Then, a golden flame, long sword appeared in the golden giant's hand. It turned into a golden dragon and roared in the sky. Brat, die for me. The Golden Lion King roared and swung his arm down. The golden flame, long sword, also slashed down. This move was Lin Xian's ultimate move, Fire God's Roar. At this moment, it was used by the Golden Lion King, and its power was terrifying. Humph! Let me show you what the real Fire God's Roar is. Lin Xian coldly snorted, and the hellfire on his body quickly spread. Then, a black giant was quickly formed. Roar! The black giant roared towards the sky and let out waves of dragon roars. The surrounding mountains instantly shattered, and a terrifying black hole appeared in the sky. Lightning fell from the sky. This energy fluctuation was felt by everyone within a radius of 100,000 miles. Instantly, the 8th prince and 1st prince's people raised their heads in shock. In the next moment, their pupils shrank. That was because they saw 2 towering giants tens of thousands of miles away. They stood there, as if they could reach the heavens. One was like a god of war in gold, while the other was like a demon king in darkness. Even though they were tens of thousands of miles away, they could still feel the terrifying aura. Some of the weaker ones even began to tremble uncontrollably. This was too shocking. They were all powerful geniuses. Yet they were all trembling under such pressure. What kind of strength was this? They couldn't believe it. The people in the Grand Imperial Hall saw the 2 giant figures standing in the distance through the light screen. Then, they all sucked in a cold breath. When they saw the black giant let out a furious roar and shatter the sky, they were even more astonished. This black giant was so strong. This was Lin Xian's giant, one of his ultimate moves. He had seen it before. Many people were discussing this matter. On the other hand, the elders who supported the 1st prince had gloomy expressions. What was going on? It was obvious that the golden giant's aura had been suppressed. But how was this possible? Could it be that the Golden Lion King couldn't defeat the other party? When this thought came out, they were all stunned. How was this possible? The Golden Lion King was a genius of the war tribe. He was born for battle. How could there be someone he couldn't defeat? Unless it was a supreme expert, they didn't dare to believe that there was someone who could suppress the Golden Lion King. The Golden Lion King's expression was gloomy. He felt the aura of a dragon from the other party and was instantly shocked. What was going on? Why was there the aura of a dragon? Who was the other party? Could it be someone from the royal family? The dragon's roar. He immediately thought of the royal family. Only the royal family had the aura of a dragon and could let out a dragon's roar. However, Lin Xian wasn't from the royal family. Then why? Could it be because of his cultivation technique? The Golden Lion King's expression was gloomy. He didn't expect the other party's cultivation technique to be related to dragons. So what? Even if it was related, it wasn't a real dragon. I don't believe that you can suppress me. The Golden Lion King was also furious. There was a hint of madness in his cold eyes. In the next moment, the rune on his forehead flickered even more. The power of his bloodline was unleashed to the extreme. Mysterious runes revolved around him like divine runes. They were incomparably mysterious. Even the surroundings were filled with an ancient voice. His voice was very low, and it shook people's souls. Buzz. When this scene appeared, the golden flames on the surface of his body suddenly blossomed. It was like a huge sun, extremely dazzling. The Golden Lion King's aura rose again, as expected of a genius of the war tribe. Seeing this scene, everyone started to discuss. The Crown Prince heaved a sigh of relief. That's right. How could the Golden Lion King be suppressed? That brat dared to fight with the Golden Lion King. He would definitely be killed. It could even increase his strength. It was indeed powerful. Lin Xian was also shocked. He had to admit that the Golden Lion King was indeed a difficult opponent. Its strength was incomparably terrifying. However, it was a pity that it met him. In the next moment, Lin Xian directly activated the great dragon sword soul. Another loud dragon's roar rang out, shattering the clouds in all directions. In the next moment, the black giant clenched his fists. Countless black flames danced and turned into a huge flaming sword. However, the huge flaming sword was too shocking. It wasn't a sword at all. It was a dragon. A huge black flaming dragon was held in the hands of the black giant. The dragon's head roared towards the sky, looking extremely ferocious. Roar. On it. Even the dragon's runes could be clearly seen. Buzz. The sword slashed down, causing the heavens to collapse and the earth to split. The terrifying black dragon sword was incomparably terrifying. It directly slashed forward, wanting to split the Golden Lion King into pieces. Die for me. On the other side, the Golden Lion King also roared. He controlled the Golden Giant and also swung the huge flaming sword. In the next moment, the two giants attacked at the same time. Two terrifying huge swords collided in the air. Boom, boom. This attack was extremely terrifying. It really had the aura of destruction. An extremely terrifying sword wave spread out in all directions with the two as the center. Everywhere it passed, mountains, forests, and rivers collapsed. Countless cracks appeared on the ground, extending for tens of thousands of miles. Buzz. Tens of thousands of miles away, the 8th Prince, the Crown Prince, and the others who were fighting felt a terrifying surge of energy, causing them to have no choice but to retreat. At this moment, they simply stopped fighting and retreated to the distance to watch the battle. Because this battle was too shocking, they couldn't help but pay attention. Chapter 2178. The experts and elders in the Grand Imperial Hall widened their eyes as they stared at the screen. Clang, under everyone's nervous gazes. An earth-shattering sound could be heard. The huge golden flaming sword was split in half. Whoosh! The broken half fell to the ground and immediately turned into a sea of golden flames that spread in all directions. The raging flames burned fiercely, but the Golden Giant roared in anger. In the next moment, it was split in half by the black dragon sword. What? It was split in half. How is this possible? Everyone went crazy. On the first prince's side, the elite experts and elders all widened their eyes in disbelief. The Golden Lion King's Golden Giant was split in half. The Golden Lion King's pupils shrank in disbelief. His opponent actually broke his attack. How was this possible? How could his opponent be stronger than him? He couldn't believe it. He roared crazily and wanted to block it. However, he realized that the huge black dragon sword was already slashing down rapidly. It would soon engulf him. Ah, get lost! The Golden Lion King unleashed a terrifying attack. A golden armor appeared on his body and covered his entire body, only revealing a pair of cold eyes. Boom! In the next moment, the long sword slashed down. It was earth-shattering. Mountains and rivers were shattered. A terrifying wave of energy turned into a rolling light pillar that rushed into the 9 heavens. It was as if the world was about to be destroyed. The earth cracked, and the void collapsed. The surrounding mountains cracked and formed huge rifts. Everyone's eyelids twitched as they stared into the distance. They wanted to know how the Golden Lion King was doing. When the black dragon sword's shadow disappeared, everyone became nervous. They didn't know how the Golden Lion King was doing. "Damn brat, I'm going to kill you." However, at this moment, a cold voice came from the remnant energy. This voice was filled with killing intent and didn't contain any emotions. Hearing this voice, the first prince and the others heaved a sigh of relief. They knew that this was the Golden Lion King's voice. This meant that the Golden Lion King shouldn't have suffered much damage. Bang! In the next moment, the void was torn apart, and the Golden Lion King stepped out. His long golden hair danced wildly in the wind, and his handsome face seemed to have been carved by a knife. However, there was a trace of blood at the corner of his mouth, which was exceptionally eye-catching. Not only that, when they looked down, everyone was stunned. The exquisite golden battle armor on the Golden Lion King was now filled with cracks, as if it would shatter at any moment. Not only that, but the area in front of his body caved in. There was an obvious sword mark that slashed it open. This could no longer be considered a golden armor because large amounts of blood had dyed it red. He was injured. The Golden Lion King was actually heavily injured. Everyone was extremely shocked, not daring to believe it. On the other hand, the Golden Lion King's expression was ice cold. The rune between its eyebrows shone even brighter. Even though Zhang Xian's face was pale, the killing intent he exuded was far sharper than before. "Brat, if you dare to hurt me, I'll make you pay back tenfold." The Golden Lion King was truly enraged. He simply couldn't understand why his opponent's might was so much greater than his when they used the same martial skill. This was too illogical. One must know that the Golden Lion King had grasped a kind of divine ability. Only by combining it with the power of his bloodline would he be able to imitate other people's martial skills. Furthermore, under the effect of his bloodline, the might he imitated would far surpass his opponent's. This kind of divine ability could not only defeat his opponent's hand, but it could also shatter his opponent's confidence and martial heart. But now, the divine ability that he was so proud of had actually failed. On the opposite side, Lin Xian sneered. "Why, are you surprised? This is just an appetizer. Next, I'll give you a surprise." "Damn it, could it be that this brat still has some trump cards?" The Golden Lion King frowned. However, in the next moment, he was stunned. He had an expression as if he had seen a ghost, because he discovered that Lin Xian's palms were rapidly forming seals. A ferocious and terrifying aura was rapidly emitted from the imprint. Damn it. How is this possible? How can he use it? The Golden Lion King was truly stunned. Damn it, I don't believe it. The Golden Lion King seemed to have received a huge blow. He went crazy. Damn it, how can he use the seal of the fearless lion? Impossible. Fake. This must be fake. This brat is trying to confuse me. The Golden Lion King roared, trying to stabilize his emotions. However, Lin Xian sneered. "Fake? Is that so? Then look at this." As he spoke, he waved his palm. The seal of the fearless lion was unleashed. A golden lion appeared in the air and roared towards the sky. It was extremely terrifying. Damn it. Impossible. I don't believe it. The Golden Lion King had truly gone crazy. The other party was actually able to use his divine ability. This was too unexpected. This divine ability was his battle tribe's ultimate skill. Others simply couldn't use it. However, How could the other party use it? Damn it, could it be that this brat also knows how to imitate other people's divine ability? But how is this possible? The Golden Lion King was truly stunned. The reason why he could imitate other people's divine ability was because of his battle tribe's bloodline power. Without the bloodline power of the battle tribe, others simply couldn't use it. This was definitely not the seal of the fearless lion. Brat, do you think that just by imitating the shape of a lion, it's the seal of the fearless lion? You simply can't unleash its power and essence. The Golden Lion King roared and quickly formed seals with his palm. He also unleashed the seal of the fearless lion. In his opinion, Lin Xian must be trying to confuse and deceive him. That's why he used the seal of the fearless lion. He guessed that the other party's seal only had the shape of a lion. It didn't have the power and essence of the seal of the fearless lion. If that was the case, then it was nothing, because it couldn't threaten him at all. Therefore, he also used the seal of the fearless lion and quickly unleashed it. He wanted to shatter the other party's lion. In the sky, the two golden figures collided again and tore apart. However, very soon, the Golden Lion King screamed again, because he realized that the seal of the fearless lion he unleashed was broken by the other party. Damn it! How is this possible? The other party not only had the same shape as him, the power was even stronger than the original version he unleashed. How is this possible? How could the other party use their battle tribe's divine ability? Furthermore, the power was even stronger than his. The Golden Lion King was truly going crazy. Damn brat, how did you do it? Who exactly are you? The Golden Lion King gritted his teeth. How did you do it? Naturally, I did it the same way. Lin Xian sneered. Impossible. I don't believe it. The Golden Lion King roared crazily. I can only do this because I have the battle tribe's bloodline. You're not a member of the battle tribe. It's even more impossible for you to have the battle tribe's bloodline. How did you do it? Chapter 2179. So it was the bloodline of the war tribe. After Lin Xian heard this, he was enlightened. Now he finally found some clues. Damn it, you actually tricked me. The Golden Lion King roared. He didn't expect that the other party was still investigating the secret of his war tribe. This made him mad. Therefore, at the next moment, he attacked again. It's useless. I know everything you know. Moreover, the power is stronger than yours. Therefore, you are not my opponent at all. Lin Xian said coldly. These were the words that the Golden Lion King had said to him before. However, he was now returning them back to them. Ah, damn it. I'm going to kill you. The Golden Lion King was mad. This was a slap to his face. He had to kill the other party in order to vent the hatred in his heart. What's wrong? Are you angry? Lin Xian sneered. Now, have a taste of my burning sky, scorching sun fist. Boom. Terrifying black flames rose on Lin Xian's fists. Then they danced quickly. Numerous black suns danced in the air, releasing terrifying heat. What he was using now was the ultimate skill that the Golden Lion King used before, the burning sky, scorching sun fist. It was also a terrifying ability of the war tribe. At this moment, when it was used, it had the aura of destruction. Damn it! Seeing the other party using his war tribe's ultimate skill again, the Golden Lion King was so angry that he vomited blood. Everything was out of his control. Originally, he wanted to use his bloodline power to imitate Lin Xian's ultimate skill to kill the other party. This way, he could use the most humiliating method to kill the other party. But now he realized that not only did he not succeed, but he was also defeated by the other party. Now his martial heart was about to collapse because the other party was too mysterious. This battle was truly too depressing. The Golden Lion King looked at Lin Xian. The other party was using his war tribe's ultimate skill. Moreover, the other party was stronger than him. This made him mad. He roared crazily. The golden rune between his eyebrows flickered. At the next moment, he gritted his teeth and roared, "Brat, I don't believe that you can copy my bloodline power." In the next moment, he used his bloodline secret skill and attacked madly. Suddenly, the power of his bloodline burst out, and a red light rushed out from his forehead. It turned into a red blood sword and slashed down madly. Bloodline sword. The long sword contained a terrifying bloodline power, and mysterious runes flickered on it. The blood-red, long sword rushed out, shattering all the black suns, and quickly rushed towards Lin Xian. Wang! Lin Xian quickly dodged and used the demigods and semi-devils. At the same time, he used the chaotic heaven destroyer sword to fight back. The two sword techniques clashed fiercely in the air. Clang! It was as if a magnificent army was galloping. The blood-red longsword returned to the Golden Lion King's side and floated in front of him. On the other side, Lin Xian also snorted coldly as sword light bloomed from his body. "Kid, aren't you very powerful? Attack. Make a copy of my bloodline sword." The Golden Lion King sneered again. "How is it? You can't use it anymore, right? Do you think you're very powerful? You can't use the same divine ability as my bloodline power at all." The Golden Lion King sneered disdainfully. He guessed correctly. Lin Xian couldn't copy the divine ability of the bloodline power. However, he sneered at the next moment. "So, what if you can't copy it? Could it be that you can copy all my divine abilities?" What a joke! "Of course I can." The Golden Lion King was full of confidence again. "You don't have bloodline power, so you don't have any secret bloodline skills. As long as it's not a divine ability formed by bloodline power, I can use it. The sword technique you use to resist my bloodline sword should be a heaven-tier sword technique, right? I can also use it." The Golden Lion King snorted and quickly activated the bloodline sword beside him. Immediately, the bloodline sword soared into the sky and quickly danced in the air. It looked exactly the same as the chaotic heaven destroyer sword that Lin Xian used before. "Kid, do you see that? I can also use heaven-tier techniques. However, you can't copy my bloodline sword. Therefore, you will definitely die in this battle. Do you think I only have heaven-tier techniques?" Lin Xian's expression was cold, and his eyes flickered. The Golden Lion King was right. He couldn't copy the secret technique of the bloodline power. However, so what? He also had many ultimate moves that his opponent couldn't copy. Therefore, Lin Xian decided to use his strongest trump card. He didn't want to delay any longer. He had to get rid of the person in front of him. Buzz! In the next moment, rays of golden light appeared in Lin Xian's eyes. They turned into mysterious patterns and covered his entire eyeball. A pair of golden eyes emitted a mysterious aura. Golden eyes? The Golden Lion King was stunned when he saw this scene. In the next moment, he felt his hair stand on end, as if he was facing a terrifying threat. Floating light. As expected, the mysterious patterns in Lin Xian's eyes revolved, and he launched a powerful attack. The Golden Lion King's body trembled. His soul power suffered a strong impact, as if it was going to shatter his soul. In the next moment, he screamed crazily. Anger appeared in his eyes, and the flames on his body surged rapidly. "Damn it! It's a soul attack. Block it for me." There was a blue necklace around the Golden Lion King's neck. It was emitting a blue radiance. This was a treasure for soul defense. It formed a powerful defense to block Lin Xian's floating light attack. However, it was useless. He underestimated Lin Xian's eye technique. If it was an ordinary eye technique, the blue necklace would definitely be able to block it. However, this was an illusion from the heavenly secret divine eyes. It was extremely terrifying. Therefore, the Golden Lion King fell for it. Boom. Seeing this scene, Lin Xian decisively made his move. The primal chaos exterminating sword slashed out quickly and ruthlessly on the Golden Lion King's body, sending him flying. Boom, boom, boom. The sky shattered and the earth sank. The Golden Lion King coughed out large mouthfuls of blood. The armor on his body was shattered again. Many of his bones were even broken. His 5 viscera and 6 bowels were also impacted. The intense pain made him wake up from the illusion. In the next moment, he roared toward the sky. Golden radiance enveloped his body. He quickly repaired his body. At the same time, he activated the bloodline sword beside him and slashed away the remaining chaotic sword chi. Damn it, this is impossible. The Golden Lion King's face turned ugly once again. The advantage he had gained because of the bloodline sword had disappeared once again. He didn't expect his opponent to use an eye technique. Moreover, it was such a terrifying illusion. Even his soul defense treasure couldn't block it. In the next moment, he roared ferociously. But soon, a smile appeared on his face. Kid, I have to say, thank you very much for giving me such a powerful illusion attack. The Golden Lion King was too excited. If he used his bloodline power to perform such an illusion attack, he would definitely be able to heavily injure his opponent. He might even have the chance to kill his opponent. Chapter 2180. Therefore, in the next moment, the bloodline power in his body circulated crazily. His pair of blood-red eyes gradually turned golden, but soon his body trembled, and he stood there in a daze. Cold sweat even flowed down his forehead. Damn it, impossible. This is impossible. Why can't I copy it? The Golden Lion King was stunned because he realized that he couldn't copy Lin Xian's eye technique at all. What's going on? The Golden Lion King didn't dare to believe it. He couldn't understand how the other party could have something that he couldn't copy. Could it be the power of bloodline? Other than the power of bloodline, he couldn't think of anything else. Because he could even copy a heaven tier cultivation technique. Damn it, the power of bloodline. You actually have the power of bloodline. The Golden Lion King roared crazily. He originally thought that Lin Xian was just an ordinary genius and didn't have the power of bloodline. But now he realized that he was gravely mistaken. The other party actually had the power of bloodline, and it was incomparably mysterious. On the opposite side, Lin Xian saw the Golden Lion King's crazy appearance and sneered. Why, didn't you say that you can copy all my divine abilities? Now, copy it and see. Hearing Lin Xian's words, the Golden Lion King was so angry that he vomited blood. This was a slap to his face, and he couldn't even fight back. In the next moment, he gritted his teeth and roared. Brat, don't be too arrogant. I have soul attacks too. I can still kill you. You have it too? Is that so? Then show it, and let me see. The golden runes in Lin Xian's eyes flickered like a god, incomparably mysterious. Humph, you will see it. The Golden Lion King's expression was cold. His bloodline power circulated crazily. The golden light in his eyes disappeared and was replaced by a touch of blood red. My battle race was born for battle and is incomparably powerful. Do you think my battle race doesn't have any divine abilities? Now, I will let you see it. As the Golden Lion King's voice fell, the blood-red light in his eyes became even more monstrous. It was like a sea of blood, emitting an incomparably terrifying aura. Soul Source Slash. As his voice fell, countless blood-red light bloomed in his eyes. Ka, ka, ka. The void in front of him shattered like a mirror. Formless energy surged in the sky, and Lin Xian also felt a threat that came from his soul surging toward him. When this energy surged out, Even Lin Xian couldn't help but be shocked. Truly worthy of being a genius of the war race, this Golden Lion King was truly too frightening. In fact, he even felt that the other party could stand shoulder to shoulder with supreme beings. This war race was so mysterious. They actually had a soul-level divine ability, and it was so terrifying. Lin Xian snorted. In the next moment, the golden Tao pattern in his right eye rotated and turned into a golden flame. Ran Hun. Golden flames drifted out, formless and formless. The void instantly shattered, unable to withstand it at all. The crimson light began to burn rapidly. Huff, huff. The golden flame was not big, but it was incomparably terrifying. In an instant, many blood-red rays of light were ignited and burned fiercely, showing signs of spreading for thousands of miles. On the other side, the Golden Lion King held its head and screamed miserably. Its eyes were blank. Roar. It gritted its teeth and waved the bloodline sword beside it, cutting off the connection between the crimson light and itself. Then it retreated thousands of miles, panting heavily. Its face was incomparably pale. As for the crimson light that was cut off, it quickly burned into ashes. Damn it! Impossible! How could this be? The Golden Lion King was stunned. The other party's eye technique was actually stronger than his. One had to know that this soul slash was a soul attack that used its bloodline power. It could instantly slash anyone's soul. It was extremely terrifying and impossible to guard against. It was a secret technique that belonged to it. Once it was used, no one below the Supreme Being level could resist it. If a Supreme Being was accidentally hit, they would probably be seriously injured. However, such a terrifying soul slash was actually burned into ashes, leaving nothing behind. What exactly was that golden flame of the other party? Was it a soul flame condensed from an eye technique? The Golden Lion King was extremely shocked. Even the soul flame of a Supreme Being wasn't that terrifying, unless it was the soul flame of an invincible king. However, the other party was obviously not an invincible king. In fact, he was just a 6-star king like it. No matter how strong the soul power was, how strong could it be? Why was the soul flame so terrifying? Could it be that it wasn't the soul flame? Then what was it? The Golden Lion King's face was incomparably ugly. However, in the next moment, all the hair on its body stood up, because it realized that the golden flame was quickly floating towards it. Its soul felt threatened. The Golden Lion King's face instantly turned green. If it was enveloped by this thing, its soul would probably be ignited. At that time, even if it didn't die, it would be seriously injured. Moreover, it would be an injury that would be very difficult to recover from. Damn it, the Golden Lion King was like a golden lightning, constantly dodging and teleporting in the air. However, the golden flame seemed to be staring at it. No matter how it dodged, it couldn't escape. Bloodline sword. Kill it for me. There was no other way. The Golden Lion King could only activate the bloodline sword beside it. Whoosh. The bloodline sword bloomed with runes and turned into a bolt of lightning. It instantly flew out and slashed on the golden flame. Boom. This attack was too terrifying. The explosive energy directly blew up everything. The bloodline sword was indeed mysterious and incomparably terrifying. It contained the bloodline power of the war tribe. Therefore, even if the golden flame was summoned by the Tianji divine eyes, it was still affected. The golden flame on it was somewhat dim. However, the bloodline sword wasn't in a good state either. The blood-colored light on it was flickering like boiling water. It was about to be ignited. The blood-colored light quickly slashed the entire bloodline sword, as if it was about to melt. Seeing this scene, the Golden Lion King's face turned ugly. It roared crazily. Damn it. How could it be like this? This was impossible. It knew how powerful the bloodline sword was. There was absolutely nothing that could block it. However, the golden flame was actually able to block it. Damn it, kill it for me. The golden lion king roared crazily and poured all its bloodline power into the sword. Immediately, the bloodline sword bloomed with a strange light. However, on the other side, Lin Xian also activated the Tianji divine eyes. The mysterious runes flickered with golden light. The golden flame also became stronger. Boom, 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 boom. The flame flickered, able to ignite the bloodline sword. There was no other way. Seeing that the bloodline sword was about to melt, the golden lion king gritted its teeth, and a trace of madness appeared in its eyes. Block it for me. It roared and directly detonated the bloodline sword. Immediately, the bloodline sword exploded, turning into a blood-colored energy ball and spreading in all directions. The area within a radius of 10,000 miles was instantly covered by the blood-colored energy ball, and it was still continuing. 10,000 miles, 20,000 miles, 30,000 miles. Soon, 50,000 miles was completely covered. Please recommend, vote, subscribe, collect, tip. Chapter 2181. The eighth prince, the first prince, and the others also felt their scalps go numb as they frantically retreated. Once again, they retreated 70,000 li away, their faces filled with fear. The area in front of them was completely covered by the blood-colored energy. They couldn't see clearly at all. The royal elders and experts in the grand imperial hall all frowned and cried out in alarm. They couldn't see the details of the previous battle clearly. Therefore, they didn't know that the Golden Lion King had used the bloodline sword. They also didn't know that Lin Xian had used the heavenly secret divine eyes. Otherwise, they would have gone even crazier than now. They could only see a blood-colored energy ball covering a radius of 50,000 li. The terrifying scene caused them to be extremely shocked. However, they couldn't figure out what kind of attack it was. The blood-colored energy ball lasted for a long time before it gradually faded away. Then the world regained its clarity, and the berserk energy also gradually disappeared. However, the eighth prince and the others didn't dare to approach at all. They could only wait in bewilderment. In front of them, the Golden Lion King's armor was mostly shattered. His hair was disheveled, and he looked extremely miserable. Blood flowed from his body. It was abnormally red. He frantically made the bloodline sword explode and finally blocked the golden flame. However, he also suffered from the impact and was heavily injured. On the other side, the dragon sword domain on Lin Xian's body slowly dispersed. The black armor on his body was also mostly shattered. Blood also flowed from the corner of his mouth. The impact from before had also injured him. At this moment, he took out a few elixirs and quickly consumed them. The longevity art in his body quickly circulated and healed his injuries. Although he was injured, his eyes were incomparably sharp. Damn it, how is this possible? This is impossible. On the other side, the Golden Lion King crazily roared. He stared at Lin Xian and looked at the golden eyes. Suddenly, he seemed to have thought of something. Could it be that this was some kind of eye technique? Heavenly secret divine eyes. You're from the heavenly secret race. The Golden Lion King's pupils shrank. The heavenly secret race was an even more mysterious race than the war race. However, the heavenly secret race was also at the peak of the ancient era. They had already been extinct for tens of thousands of years. There might not even be a single heavenly secret race member alive in the entire continent. However, his golden eyes were simply too similar to the legendary heavenly fate god eyes. The Golden Lion King could not help but be suspicious of its might. Damn it, just what is your relationship with the Heavens Legacy race? Are you from the Heavens Legacy race? The Golden Lion King had a malevolent expression. As for Lin Xian, he was frowning. Had he been recognized? Sure enough, the golden eyes were too eye-catching. This Golden Lion King should have guessed it. But since that was the case, Lin Xian pulled out the 9 Nether Devil sword, his body emitting a terrifying killing intent. Since you've guessed it, I can't let you live. Killing intent surfaced in Lin Xian's eyes. He had decided to kill this Golden Lion King. Although it was very risky and might incur the wrath of the heavens, he could not let the news of him possessing the heavenly secret godly eyes spread out. Otherwise, he would become the enemy of the entire world. He was afraid that the people from the Tai dynasty would also attack him. After all, the heavenly secret divine eyes was an extremely mysterious eye. It was rumored that it was related to the reincarnation sword. Regardless of whether the legend was true or not, the power of the heavenly secret divine eyes was enough to drive everyone crazy. Want to kill me? Not so easy. The Golden Lion King snorted. He was very sure that his opponent's eyes were the legendary heavenly secret divine eyes. He never thought that he would encounter the heavenly secret divine eyes one day. Brat, I never thought that you would have the heavenly secret divine eyes. Since that's the case, I won't let you go. If I get your eyes, perhaps no one in the world will be my match. Maybe I'll be lucky enough to obtain information related to the reincarnation sword. The Golden Lion King laughed crazily. He took out countless treasures from his storage ring and consumed them without any regard for his life. Right now, he needed to quickly heal his injuries and kill Lin Xian. Whoosh. Brat, I admit that you're very powerful and have the heavenly secret divine eyes. But if I fight with my life on the line, you're definitely not my match. Speaking until here, the bloodline power in his body began to burn. A scarlet flame wrapped around him. Boom. The Golden Lion King's power and aura erupted once again. At this moment, he was extremely terrifying, even surpassing the peak experts, burning his bloodline power. At this moment, everyone could feel the aura emitted by the Golden Lion King. The first prince and the others were extremely shocked. The royal elders also felt their scalps go numb. What kind of situation did the Golden Lion King encounter? Why did he have to burn his bloodline power? This was a desperate fight. Even if he managed to kill his opponent, he would be severely injured. His cultivation might even drop. He might even need to spend hundreds or thousands of years to recover. However, the Golden Lion King actually burned his bloodline power without any regard for anything else. Could it be that Lin Xian was already so powerful? Lin Xian also frowned. He never thought that the Golden Lion King would be so crazy. He didn't hesitate to burn his bloodline power and burn his life to snatch the heavenly secret divine eyes. It seemed like his prediction was right. He had to kill the Golden Lion King. Otherwise, when the other experts got the news, they would probably hunt him down at all costs. Buzz, buzz. The power of the Golden Lion King's bloodline burned and turned into 18 ancient runes, protecting his head. Brat, it's useless. Your heavenly secret divine eyes won't be able to hurt me this time. The Golden Lion King coldly snorted. 18 incomparably ancient runes ignited the power of its bloodline and protected its head, which also meant that it was protecting its soul. Without the heavenly secret divine eyes, let's see what you can use to fight me. Boom. Support the original version. Fight the pirates. Speaking until here, the Golden Lion King's aura burst out. Then he quickly charged over. In an instant, he arrived in front of Lin Xian. The golden fist in his hand was wrapped in blood-red flames and fiercely punched out. At this moment, the Golden Lion King's strength increased by several times. There was no helping it. The burning of his bloodline power was too terrifying. Boom. The original version will win. The pirates will die. Lin Xian was forced back. The black battle armor on his body was completely shattered. He spat out large mouthfuls of blood. His face was incomparably gloomy. Ha ha ha! Did you see that, brat? You can't even block one of my punches. Now, obediently die for me. Seeing that he had forced his opponent back with one punch, the Golden Lion King laughed proudly again. He didn't dare to delay. After all, what he burned was his bloodline power. Therefore, in the next moment, he turned into lightning and charged over again. He wanted to use the fastest time to finish off his opponent. Lin Xian's eyes were cold. He wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. He used the two secret techniques, floating light and soul ignition. The golden light in his eyes burst out and swept out. However, it was blocked by the opponent's 18 ancient runes. Indeed, under the effect of the Golden Lion King burning his bloodline power, it finally blocked his heavenly secret divine eyes. Unless Lin Xian also burned his soul power, he might be able to kill his opponent. However, Lin Xian wouldn't do that. It seemed that he had no choice but to use that move. Chapter 2182. Unless Lin Xian also desperately burned his soul power, he might be able to kill the other party. However, Lin Xian would not do that. It seemed that he had no choice but to use that move. After being blasted back again, Lin Xian clenched his fist and quickly formed a seal. Immediately, a loud dragon roar rushed out from his body. Buzz. At the same time, the dragon sword domain spread out, covering a radius of 10,000 miles. The sword chi it emitted blocked everyone's view. King domain against me? It's useless, kid. Your domain is no threat to me. Seeing Lin Xian use the king domain to cover a radius of 10,000 miles, the Golden Lion King sneered in disdain. Lin Xian's expression was cold as he floated in the sky. He did not answer the other party, nor did he plan to use the Dragon Sword domain to kill the other party. He planned to use the Dragon Sword soul in his body to kill the other party, Buzz. Therefore, he wanted to use the King domain to block the view of others. After all, the Dragon Sword soul was comparable to the heavenly secret divine eyes. It was more mysterious. It was something that could make people go crazy. If the secret of him having the Dragon Sword soul was leaked, it would not only affect the entire central continent, but also the entire true spirit world. Everyone in the 5 continents would desperately hunt him down. Those invincible kings were no exception. Perhaps even the sages would come out to kill him and seize the Dragon Sword soul. A dragon-shaped sword shadow appeared in front of Lin Xian, emitting a terrifying aura. It was as if a divine dragon had appeared in the world. Boom, boom, boom. A deep dragon roar sounded, and the surrounding space shattered. It could not withstand this energy at all. A terrifying sword aura rushed into the sky. On the opposite side, the Golden Lion King was extremely shocked. He stopped moving, and a bloody light surrounded his body as he looked ahead in shock. He did not expect Lin Xian to have other trump cards other than the heavenly secret divine eyes. Moreover, this energy fluctuation was even more terrifying than the heavenly secret divine eyes. What was that? The Golden Lion King looked ahead with a gloomy face. He discovered that there was a dragon-shaped sword shadow in front of him. It was very ferocious, baring its fangs and brandishing its claws as if it was going to break through the sky. The Golden Lion King was shocked. Suddenly, the burning red flames on its body began to surge and jump as if it had become crazy. Not only that, but all the flames danced forward as if they wanted to kneel down and worship their king. What was going on? The Golden Lion King was stunned. Lin Xian was also stunned. How could such a thing happen to the other party? Could this be related to the great dragon sword soul? In the distance, the Golden Lion King was even more astonished. That was because it was not only the red flames on his body. The bloodline power in his body was also rapidly pulsating like a war drum, abnormally rumbling. In the end, it was even about to leave his body. Damn it, what's going on? How could my bloodline power have changed? The Golden Lion King was stupefied. He had never encountered such an unforeseen change in the power of his bloodline. In the next moment, he suddenly raised his head and stared straight ahead. Could it be that it was because of that sword's shadow? He swallowed his saliva in disbelief. However, the only thing that could make his bloodline power tremble so crazily was probably that thing. Damn it, how could the other party have such a thing? The Golden Lion King did not dare to believe it. Their war tribe had been searching for it for tens of thousands of years, but they could not find it. How could it be in the hands of a brat? The Golden Lion King felt his breathing become hurried, and his blood was boiling. He was simply too shocked. That thing was even more terrifying than the heavenly secret divine eyes, an even more terrifying existence. It was also what their war tribe had been searching for all this time. Great Dragon Sword. Damn it, you actually have the Great Dragon Sword. The Golden Lion King finally gritted his teeth and roared. Lin Xian's brows twitched, and his face was filled with astonishment. He did not expect that the other party would recognize his Great Dragon Sword soul the moment it appeared. How was this possible? Could it be that the Golden Lion King knew so much about the Great Dragon Sword? Or could it be that he knew about the Great Dragon Sword? You actually know about the Great Dragon Sword? This is really unexpected. Lin Xian said in a deep voice. The Golden Lion King snorted coldly, and a trace of madness appeared in its eyes. Brat, I have to say, you have given me too many surprises. You have the heavenly secret divine eyes, a heaven-defying eye technique. Now, you even have the Great Dragon Sword soul. I don't know how the Great Dragon Sword soul ended up in your body. However, you don't deserve to have such a sacred item. This is something that belongs to our war tribe. Now, hand it over obediently. Otherwise, I will let you die an ugly death. Something that belongs to your war tribe? Hearing this, Lin Xian frowned even more. What was going on? How was the war tribe related to the Great Dragon Sword? He was extremely surprised because the corpse of the fourth-generation successor of the Dragon Sword was in Black Earth. Now that he had obtained the Great Dragon Sword soul, logically speaking, he should be the fifth-generation successor of the Great Dragon Sword. However, what was the relationship with the war tribe? Could it be that someone from the war tribe had obtained the Great Dragon Sword before? Was it the second-generation successor or the third-generation successor? Or was there some other reason? Lin Xian did not know. When he asked He Tu also shook his head. He had never heard of the war tribe being related to the Great Dragon Sword. Humph! Thus, Lin Xian snorted coldly. I don't care what relationship your war tribe has with the Great Dragon Sword, but now it belongs to me. What a load of nonsense. Belongs to you? Brat, you are too reckless. The Golden Lion King roared. Our war tribe was born for battle. This Great Dragon Sword was born to belong to us. Since you are not willing to hand it over obediently, then don't blame me for being impolite. In the next moment, he ignited his bloodline power again and charged over crazily. Boom! The Golden Lion King tore through the void and arrived in front of Lin Xian in an instant. He stretched out his 5 fingers and a blood-red palm grabbed at the dragon-shaped sword shadow. He wanted to snatch it away. Humph! Lin Xian snorted coldly. You dare to snatch my dragon-shaped sword shadow? You are courting death. He grabbed the dragon-shaped sword shadow and let out a resonant dragon roar. With a swing of his sword, a terrifying dragon-shaped sword chi tore through the void and slashed at the Golden Lion King. Buzz! The Golden Lion King dodged rapidly and appeared on the other side of Lin Xian in an instant. At the same time, both of his hands quickly formed seals. One after another, mysterious and simple runes flew out from his fingertips. At the same time, he let out a series of strange syllables. It was as if he was speaking from the outer world. Buzz! As if it was affected, the dragon-shaped sword shadow in Lin Xian's hand also let out a dragon roar. What was going on? He was actually able to affect the great dragon sword soul? Lin Xian was extremely shocked. This was the first time he encountered such a thing. However, in the next moment, he grabbed the great dragon sword soul, and the energy in his body quickly circulated. Instantly, the connection was severed. Soon after, the sword chi swept out again. Bang! This time, the Golden Lion King was directly sent flying by the sword chi. A huge sword wound appeared on its body. Fresh blood flowed out crazily, and it was almost split into two. As for his expression, it was also one of extreme fear. Chapter 2183. The Golden Lion King was directly sent flying by the sword chi, and a huge sword wound appeared on his body. Blood flowed wildly, and he was almost cut in half. As for his expression, it was also one of extreme fear. Damn it, this is impossible. How can you cut off my connection with the great dragon sword soul? The Golden Lion King was too shocked because their war tribe had a mysterious connection with the great dragon sword. The seal and the strange syllables he sent out before were all used to communicate with the great dragon sword. Although it was his first time using it, it was an ancient record of their war tribe, and it couldn't be wrong. Moreover, the great dragon sword soul also sent out a loud sound, as if it was responding. Originally, he thought that he could control the great dragon sword soul, but he didn't expect that his connection would be cut off in an instant. The other party was actually able to completely control the great dragon sword soul. How was this possible? He didn't dare to believe it. The next moment, he gritted his teeth and frantically used this secret technique, wanting to communicate with the great dragon sword soul. But this time, it failed. Lin Xian and the great dragon sword soul seemed to have merged into one, and he continuously sent out dragon-shaped sword chi, cutting through the surroundings. This caused the Golden Lion King to continuously retreat, and he vomited large mouthfuls of blood. How is this possible? I don't believe it. How did you completely subdue the great dragon sword soul? The Golden Lion King was really crazy. He had learned about the great dragon sword soul's mysteriousness from the ancient records of the war tribe. That was an offensive saint technique between heaven and earth, and whoever grasped it would be able to obtain the strongest power. However, the more violent the power, the harder it was to control. It was rumored that even saints couldn't completely control it. But now, this kid, a 6-star king, was actually able to completely control the great dragon sword soul. He didn't dare to believe it. Damn it, this can't be real. The Golden Lion King gritted his teeth and roared, but the next moment he turned around and fled. His speed was extremely fast. Because he didn't plan to continue fighting, he wanted to return. He wanted to leave this place and return to his family. He wanted the war tribe to send out countless experts to snatch the great dragon sword soul. He definitely couldn't let the great dragon sword soul fall into the hands of others. Buzz! The Golden Lion King turned around and fled. His speed was extremely fast. Want to leave? Lin Xian coldly snorted and quickly waved the dragon-shaped sword in his hand. At the same time, he activated the dragon sword domain around him and sent out streams of sword chi to form a sword net cage, sealing off the space and preventing the Golden Lion King from escaping. He had already used 2 of his trump cards, completely exposing his identity and secret. How could he allow the other party to escape? Pung! The dragon-shaped sword in his hand slashed out a terrifying sword chi. It tore through the void and instantly enveloped the Golden Lion King. Roar! The Golden Lion King was so scared that his scalp went numb. All the hair on his body stood up, because this sword chi was simply too terrifying. In the next moment, a hint of madness appeared in his eyes as he quickly cut open his palm. Countless runes condensed in his palm, accompanied by a stream of scarlet blood. Boom! This was a secret magic formed by his bloodline power. Behind him, a bloody figure took his place. Pung! The bloody man was split into two halves by the sword. As for the Golden Lion King, it appeared 1,000 miles away. It was in an extremely sorry state, but it was running away as if it had gone mad. He dodged it. Seeing this scene, Lin Xian frowned. He didn't expect the Golden Lion King to have so many secret skills. It was actually able to dodge his dragon-shaped sword chi. This really surprised him. However, this made it even more impossible for him to let the other party leave. In the next moment, he gathered the energy in his body again and prepared to launch the second dragon-shaped sword chi. However, at this moment, the dragon sword domain around him trembled rapidly. It turned into a torrential sword light and flew toward the Golden Lion King. Scram! Support the original version. Fight against piracy. The Golden Lion King roared toward the sky. It burned its bloodline power again without caring about the price. It formed a blood-colored lion and directly shattered the void. Buzz! The Golden Lion King stepped into the blood-colored whirlpool and appeared a few thousand miles away again. The moment he appeared, he ran for his life. That was the Golden Lion King. He came out. He was fine. In the distance, the first prince and the others looked into the distance and were extremely shocked. They didn't expect the Golden Lion King to be the first to come out. Could it be that he won? Thinking of this, the first prince laughed crazily and was extremely excited. That's great. The Golden Lion King won and killed that brat. In this way, they could join hands and kill the 8th prince. On the 8th prince's side, his face was incomparably ugly. If Lin Xian was killed, they would no longer have any chance of winning. The 8th prince's face was even more gloomy. He shook his head crazily. Impossible. Brother Lin couldn't be killed. Lin Xian was extremely powerful. He didn't believe that the Golden Lion King could kill him. Pung! The original version will win. The pirated version will die. In the next moment, the void in the distance shattered. Following that, a figure quickly appeared. It was Lin Xian. Baleful aura surrounded his body. A terrifying sword light covered a radius of more than 10 meters, forming a sword Dao world. Others couldn't see it clearly. He did this because he wanted to hide the heavenly secret divine eyes and the great dragon sword spirit. When his aura appeared, the 8th prince and the others exclaimed, Lin Xian! It was Lin Xian! Lin Xian also came out. He didn't die. That's great. The 8th prince's side was excited. On the other hand, the 1st prince's side was gloomy. Damn it, what's going on? This brat didn't die. This was far beyond their expectations. At this moment, even the royal elders and almighty experts in the Grand Imperial Hall were extremely surprised. Previously, they could only see the terrifying energy shockwaves. Now, they could finally see the two figures. However, these two people were too mysterious. One of them was shrouded in a blood-red light, and it was hard to tell him apart. The other was shrouded in a sharp sword chi, and it was also hard to see him clearly. However, they could still distinguish who was who. The one with blood-red aura was naturally the Golden Lion King. That blood-red aura should be the power of bloodline. The one with monstrous sword chi was naturally Lin Xian. After all, he was an incomparably terrifying swordsman. But soon, they were stunned, because after Lin Xian came out, he shouted coldly, Want to leave? Do you think you can leave?" As he spoke, a terrifying sword light shot out rapidly, forming a huge dragon in the air and surging forward. "Damn it!" The blood-red figure in front roared and struck out a huge blood-red palm. It was like the palm of a Buddha, fiercely slapping towards the void. Boom! Heaven and earth shook. The blood-red palm slapped on the terrifying sword Chi, forming a huge energy storm. But soon, the blood-red palm was cut open. Countless blood surged in all directions. The Golden Lion King coldly snorted and turned around to escape. What's going on? The Golden Lion King escaped? The almighty experts on the first prince's side were all dumbfounded. Even the first prince's mouth twitched and his face turned gloomy. In the Grand Imperial Hall, the royal elders were even more shocked. Heavens, did the Golden Lion King lose? Why did it escape? To be honest, they were really confused. They didn't know what was going on. The eighth prince's side was also stunned. Chapter 2184. To be honest, they were all confused. They had no idea what was going on. The eighth prince's side was also stunned. Previously, they were worried that Lin Xian would be killed. But now, it seemed like that wasn't the case. The one at a disadvantage was definitely the Golden Lion King. Otherwise, with his character and identity, it would be impossible for him to escape. Today, you won't be able to escape. Behind him, Lin Xian used Heavenly Dragon's 8 steps and chased after him with extreme speed. The two of them were very fast and disappeared into the void in an instant. Damn it, chase after them. The first prince roared angrily and led his men to quickly catch up. The eighth prince waved his hand and said, "Let's go and support Brother Lin." They were too excited. As long as they could defeat the Golden Lion King, their side would win for sure. Therefore, these people all soared into the sky and chased after them. In an instant, a great chase began. Inside the Grand Imperial Palace, these people looked at the flickering figure on the screen in a daze. At this moment, the royal elders, experts, and the other princes were all stunned. They didn't dare to believe it. The incomparably powerful genius of the war tribe, the Golden Lion King, was actually being chased. Moreover, he was being chased by a 6-star king. If they didn't see it with their own eyes, they wouldn't believe it even if they were beaten to death. The queen's face was so gloomy that it was terrifying. Killing intent surged out from her body. Inside her sleeves, a pair of jade-like hands were clenched tightly. Damn it! How could it be? How could it be? How could the Golden Lion King be chased? She was about to go crazy because she couldn't accept the fact in front of her eyes. That was the Golden Lion King. He was a genius of the war tribe. His strength was terrifying. With the power of his bloodline, no one below the realm of supreme experts could suppress him, not to mention defeating him. But now, the Golden Lion King was actually running for his life. It was as if he had gone crazy and even burned his bloodline power. This meant that the Golden Lion King was defeated. Moreover, he lost miserably. Otherwise, he wouldn't be running. He couldn't understand what kind of technique or ability could defeat the Golden Lion King. On the other side, the Golden Lion King frowned and ran for his life. However, he was incomparably shocked because he realized that Lin Xian was following closely behind him. He couldn't escape. Peng! Lin Xian slashed out with his sword, imbued with the power of the great dragon sword spirit, emitting a bright light. It was like a streak of divine red, releasing a terrifying power. Peng! This sword was powerful and heavy. It was like the roar of a giant dragon as it charged forward. Instantly, a part of the sky exploded. Whoosh! Peng! The Golden Lion King dodged with extreme speed, wanting to avoid this sword. However, he was still swept through by the sword wave. He was immediately sent flying, shattering the void, shattering the great earthquake below. Kill. Lin Xian's figure flickered, holding the dragon heart sword shadow in his hand as he charged downwards. Boom, boom. The terrifying sword light completely submerged the ground below. Suddenly, the ground was struck down, forming a bottomless black hole. As for the Golden Lion King, it ignited its bloodline power without any regard for its life and soared into the sky. However, the injuries on his body were even more terrifying. There were 5 or 6 sword wounds on his back, and each of them revealed deep white bones. If it wasn't for the fact that he was a genius of the war race and had a strong physique, as well as the power of his bloodline, the sword Qi would have already torn him to pieces. Even so, he was still severely injured. Right now, he was only able to escape by igniting his life force without paying any price. In the distance, the first prince and the 8th prince led their experts and flew rapidly. However, their speed wasn't as fast as the 2 of them. Hence, they were tens of thousands of miles away from them. However, these people were also rushing with all their might. When they sensed the scene in front of them, they were all stunned. However, in the next moment, they sensed that Lin Xian and the Golden Lion King had left their range of perception again. This won't do. First Prince, the 2 of them are too fast. We can't keep up. Even if we can't, we have to keep up. We have to pay attention to them. We can't lose them. The first prince roared crazily. The key to success or failure this time was the Golden Lion King. He definitely couldn't let anything happen to the Golden Lion King. On the other side, the 8th prince's expression was also grave. He didn't say anything and only used all his strength to activate his dragon aura, enveloping everyone as he flew rapidly. In front, the Golden Lion King's face was incomparably pale. He had already suffered great injuries and could die at any time. Thinking of this, he roared crazily. Damn brat, you dare to kill me? You're dead. I'm from the war race. If you kill me, the war race won't let you off. Behind him, Lin Xian sneered. He didn't slow down at all. Threatening me? Do you think I'll be afraid? Since you know my secret, I won't let you off. Damn it. The Golden Lion King's expression was crazed. The other party actually wasn't threatened at all. It really drove him crazy. However, he snorted again. You better think carefully. If you kill me, not to mention the war race, even the Tai dynasty won't let you off. They will definitely capture you and hand you over to the war race. Moreover, as long as my war race gives you the conditions, the entire world will crazily hunt you down. Humph. Support the original version. Pirates must die. Lin Xian snorted coldly. The dragon-shaped sword Qi in his hand slashed out again, slashing towards the Golden Lion King. This time the Golden Lion King didn't dodge. Half of its body was enveloped by the dragon-shaped sword Qi and instantly turned into dust. Blood crazily flowed, piercing through the void. The mountain below collapsed. The Golden Lion King struggled crazily with a malevolent expression. Because it was too painful, half of its body was completely hacked apart. The terrifying sword Qi still filled the remaining part of its body. Pain, madness, shock, fear, all kinds of emotions filled it. As a genius of the war race, it had never suffered such a serious injury. Moreover, it was in danger of being killed at any time. Kid, die for me. The Golden Lion King's expression was crazed. It discovered that the half of its body that was hacked apart couldn't be healed. After all, it knew the aura of the great dragon sword spirit. It was impossible for it to resist that kind of power. Therefore, it decided to risk its life. Kid, so what if you kill me? I want you to die. You must die. I want you and the great dragon sword spirit to be buried with me. The Golden Lion King had really gone crazy. It decided to use its own life as the price to kill the other party. In the next moment, the remaining half of its body burned fiercely. The power of its bloodline was ignited, releasing an incomparable power. At this moment, the Golden Lion King's aura rose without limit. It's over. Lin Xian also took a deep breath. Soon after, he kept the 9 underworld devil's sword. He pulled out the broken ancient sword, and a monstrous power surged out from the ancient sword. Heaven-ranked treasure sword. Seeing this scene, the Golden Lion King's pupils shrank. This is your heavenly treasure? It was incomparably frightened. It turned around and fled. What a joke. It didn't even have the thought of risking its life. An extremely expensive treasure sword in addition to the great dragon sword spirit. It was impossible for it to block it. Chapter 2185. He was terrified as he turned around and fled. What a joke. He didn't even have the thought of risking his life. He definitely wouldn't be able to block the priceless sword and the great dragon sword soul. Buzz. With a slash of the sword, heaven and earth were shattered. The heaven-grade sword was too sharp. It instantly took away half of Lin Xian's strength. The power of the great dragon sword soul covered the sword. The aura of the dragon sword soul burst out and shrouded the Golden Lion King. No, a miserable cry rang out. Then an infinite amount of sword chi burst out. Within a radius of 10,000 miles, huge sword chi pierced through the clouds. Boom, boom, boom. Behind them, the first prince saw this scene and roared crazily. Stop. They stopped tens of thousands of miles away and looked ahead. Their faces were extremely ugly. The 8th prince's side also stopped. They carefully floated in the void because the power in front was too terrifying. It was enough to destroy them. Therefore, they didn't dare to move forward. They could only wait far behind. In front, the huge sword chi was still there, covering the heaven and earth. At this moment, a figure walked out from the torrential sword chi. Lin Xian. It's Lin Xian. It's that brat, everyone exclaimed. Then they looked at each other again. But soon, they were stunned. Where's the Golden Lion King? Why didn't the Golden Lion King come out? They didn't know, but no one dared to move forward because the sword chi was still there. Lin Xian held the demonic sword and walked towards the first prince. At the same time, he said coldly, 8th prince, it's time to deal with them. What? The first prince was shocked. His god empress's powerful figures were also shocked. What's going on? Is he going to take action now? Could it be that the Golden Lion King was killed? The 8th prince was also puzzled. He subconsciously asked, Brother Lin, that Golden Lion King won't come out to fight against us again, right? Don't worry, he won't come out again. Lin Xian said coldly. The first prince and the others were shocked. What does he mean? Won't come out again? They looked ahead, bewildered. However, the light in front of them was so bright that they couldn't see clearly. But at this moment, Lin Xian, he used the chaotic sky-splitting sword, and the terrifying sword technique instantly surged forward. Kill. The 8th prince's side also roared and attacked. Damn it, block for me. Block it for me. The first prince roared furiously as the king realm experts around him attacked with all their might. A great battle broke out once again. However, everyone was confused, especially the elders in the Grand Imperial Hall. All of them frowned, because until now, the sword chi had yet to disappear, and the Golden Lion King's silhouette had yet to appear. Could it be that the Golden Lion King was trapped inside? Their eyes flickered, but for now they could only focus on the battle. Because this was the final battle. Who would become the crown prince? The situation of the crown prince was not looking good. Without the Golden Lion King, there was probably no one who could resist Lin Xian. That was indeed the case. However, after such a long battle, Lin Xian shouldn't have much strength left. I hope so. I wonder if the first prince and the others will be able to hold on. Sounds of discussion could be heard. Everyone was discussing spiritedly. The other prince's eyes flickered. To be honest, from the current situation, the one who had the highest chance of becoming the crown prince was actually the 8th prince. When such a conclusion appeared, everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. They couldn't believe it, because before this, everyone thought that the first prince was the one who had the highest chance of becoming the crown prince. But now, that might not be the case. The Empress' face was gloomy. She was clenching her teeth so hard that they were about to shatter. The scene in front of her was very unfavorable for the first prince. Also, the Golden Lion King situation made her even more confused. Why didn't he come out? Could it be that he was trapped? But what kind of a ray could trap the Golden Lion King? From the beginning to the end, these people, including the Empress, never thought that the Golden Lion King would be killed, because in their opinion, no one would dare to touch the Golden Lion King. At most, they would injure him. However, it was impossible to kill the Golden Lion King, not to mention Lin Xian. Even they, the imperial family, did not dare to kill the Golden Lion King, because the Golden Lion King was from the war race. Moreover, he was a peerless genius of the war race. Killing him was equivalent to enraging the war race. With the terror of the war race, no one could withstand it. Boom. Support the original. Start with you. A terrifying battle erupted. The first prince's side was forced to retreat. Although there were many almighties besieging Lin Xian, they even wanted to exhaust Lin Xian's strength. However, they realized that Lin Xian's strength did not weaken at all. It was as if the strength in his body was inexhaustible. It was shocking. How could they know that Lin Xian had many heavenly treasures in his hands? He could definitely recover quickly. Moreover, the miraculous art of longevity was far beyond their imagination. Therefore, this battle was completely one-sided. With Lin Xian's participation, the 8th prince's side fought more and more fiercely. In the end, the almighties around the first prince were sent flying one by one. In the end, there were only 2 elite almighties around the first prince. As for the first prince, many cracks appeared on his body. Even his tough battle armor was shattered. It's over. The first prince lost. Seeing this scene, everyone was stunned. The royal elders, the almighties, and the other princes were all shocked. The queen's face was terrifyingly gloomy. The murderous intent in her eyes pierced through the void. On the other hand, the emperor at the side said lightly. His eyes flickered. No one could tell whether he was happy, angry, or sad. However, one could guess that he was also very surprised. The first prince led 2 almighties and fought back crazily. However, in the end, they could not escape the fate of being eliminated. In the end, the 8th prince was the only one who managed to stay in the second round. As for him, he had obtained all the jade talismans and king tokens. We won. We actually won. The almighties around the 8th prince were all extremely excited. They laughed crazily. Lu Fei, Duan Qingqing, and the other young elites were extremely excited. They could not believe that they had won in the end. Taoist Master Long and the Lord of the Underworld gasped. To be honest, they did not expect this to be the outcome. Although the 8th prince was powerful before, there was still a certain gap between him and the first prince. They were not confident that they could become the crown prince in the end. However, with the help of Lin Xian, they managed to defeat the first prince and clinch the final victory. The 8th prince trembled with excitement. He came in front of Lin Xian, grabbed Lin Xian's shoulder, and shouted happily, "Brother Lin won. I won. I'm the crown prince. Ha ha! Congratulations, 8th prince." Lin Xian said with a smile. Congratulations, eighth prince. Congratulations, eighth prince. Taoist Master Long, the lord of the underworld, Duan Qingqing, Lu Fei, and the others also cheered. However, at this time, Taoist Master Long smiled. We should change our words and congratulate the crown prince. Chapter 2186. Congratulations to the crown prince. The elders and princes who supported the eighth prince in the grand imperial hall clapped their hands and laughed when they saw the scene on the screen. They were too excited. King Valurium was shocked when he saw the screen. To be honest, he did not expect Lin Xian to be so powerful. Moreover, he had played such a big role. On the other side, the elders who supported the Huanzi were ashen-faced. The other Huanzi had different expressions on their faces. The fourth prince sighed. I didn't expect that the final winner would be the eighth prince. We didn't guess it at all. That's right. Lin Xian was simply too powerful. He had managed to turn the tide of the battle single-handedly. Obtaining one person was equivalent to obtaining the world. Previously, they had thought that it was a legend. They did not expect such a person to exist. The fourth prince was still fine. He was just lamenting. On the other hand, the third prince was furious. He never thought that the eighth prince would actually become the final victor. He could not accept it. If the first prince was the final winner, he could accept it. After all, the first prince was stronger than him. However, the eighth prince was the final winner. A prince who was on par with him in terms of strength had now become the crown prince. This was the most unacceptable thing to him. It was not a problem to be defeated by someone who was better than him. However, he could not accept being surpassed by someone who was on par with him. That was how the third prince felt. However, there was nothing he could do even if he wanted to vomit blood. Moreover, he knew that the eighth prince's status would be different from now on. He was the crown prince and was above him. He could not take revenge. However, the same could not be said for the other person. Lin Xian, I will not let you go. The third prince's eyes were cold. Lin Xian was strong, but he was only a young genius. Moreover, he would not stay by the eighth prince's side for the rest of his life. As long as Lin Xian left the palace, the third prince could definitely send a peerless expert to kill him. He sneered when he thought of this. He felt that there was no need for him to do anything. The first prince should be even more furious than him. With the first prince's status and the empress's background, how could he let this kid go? Let's see how you'll die this time. The third prince sneered. The crown prince was indeed furious. As soon as he was teleported out, he roared at the sky. His entire being was like a killing god, and his body was filled with killing intent. To be honest, his lungs were about to explode from anger. He had lost. He had actually lost. He never thought that he would lose the competition and let the eighth prince take the position of crown prince. This was something he had never dreamed of. The surrounding powerful beings shook their heads and sighed. They had not expected this either. The first prince was the empress' child. His strength was incomparably terrifying, adding on the fact that he had the war race's genius. How could such a person lose? But in the end, he was defeated. He had lost to the eighth prince. It had to be said that the eighth prince was definitely the biggest dark horse. Damn it! Support the original, kill the pirated version. Lin Xian, I will definitely kill you. I will never let you off. The first prince gritted his teeth. In his opinion, his failure was due to Lin Xian. If not for Lin Xian, he would definitely not have lost. Thinking of this, the first prince looked around. Around him, there were many powerful beings who were teleported out together with him. These people shook their heads and sighed. Their faces were ashen. However, the first prince frowned and asked coldly, "Where's the Golden Lion King?" Hearing this, Everyone was bewildered. Then they turned around and found that the Golden Lion King was not around. What was going on? These powerful beings were puzzled. Previously, they were too sad and did not pay attention to the people around them. Now that they looked around, they did not find any trace of the Golden Lion King. The first prince frowned. At this moment, a powerful being said, "Could it be that he left earlier than us? That's impossible. That's impossible. This place is sealed. Only I can lead you out. Even if the others teleported out earlier, they can only wait here." The first prince's eyes were gloomy. Then he said, "Come, follow me to the Grand Imperial Hall." The first prince's face was gloomy as he led these people to the Grand Imperial Hall. When they arrived at the Grand Imperial Hall, everyone looked at them with complicated expressions. The first prince snorted. His eyes were like lightning as he looked around. Then his frown deepened, because there was no trace of the Golden Lion King. What was going on? The Empress also stood up. "Mother, there was no trace of the Golden Lion King. Could it be that he did not come here?" Hearing this, everyone was surprised. What was going on? Could it be that the Golden Lion King disappeared? After hearing this, the Empress also frowned. The Golden Lion King did not appear here. Men, go and check the surroundings. See if there is any trace of the Golden Lion King. Soon, the guards in the palace came to report that there was no trace of the Golden Lion King. What was going on? Everyone was discussing. Could it be that the Golden Lion King felt that he had lost face and decided to stay here and leave? That was possible. After all, he was a peerless genius. He probably did not want to lose face. However, some people shook their heads and snorted. Impossible. A person like the Golden Lion King would definitely not leave so easily. He would definitely stay here and fight with Lin Xian until the end. Moreover, even if he left the palace, he would be detected by the experts guarding the palace. That was right. The Golden Lion King was so conceited and arrogant. How could he allow himself to be defeated? He would definitely challenge Lin Xian again. But now the Golden Lion King had disappeared. What was going on? Let's wait for the 8th prince and the others to come out and ask Lin Xian. Everyone waited patiently. On the other side, the 8th prince and the others were also sent out. Then they walked towards the Grand Imperial Hall. When the 8th prince and the others arrived at the Grand Imperial Hall, they attracted everyone's attention again. There was no other way. This was the future crown prince. If there was no accident, he would be the future ruler of the Tai dynasty. However, not everyone's gaze was friendly. At least the 3rd prince and the 1st prince had a cold expression. Especially the 1st prince, his eyes were filled with killing intent. On the 8th prince's side, Lin Xian also frowned. He realized that many people were looking at him with a trace of doubt. Lin Xian was also very confused. What were these guys looking at? But at this time, the 1st prince stood up and pointed at Lin Xian. He shouted coldly, "Brat, let me ask you, where is your Golden Lion King?" As soon as he said this, the 8th prince and the others were puzzled. What did the Golden Lion King have to do with them? Lin Xian also sneered. Could it be that the 1st prince lost his mind because he lost? The Golden Lion King is someone you invited. What does it have to do with me? Why are you asking me? You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.